Chapter 12. The Shadow. "There's another video," Jay says through the phone, his voice solemn. I scramble up from my couch and make my way into my office. An array of computer screens line the 10-foot-long desk, and all my other illegal devices in here. Jammers, trackers, buttons that set off explosives in a number of places should someone betray me, and so on. This room alone is worth millions with all the shit I have in here. It's both my happy place and my living nightmare. This is where I make a difference in the world, where I find women and children who need saving, while also witnessing the torture those sick individuals put them through. It takes money to infiltrate high-security buildings, rescue the girls, and give them sanctuary and safety off the grid. Big corporations pay me an ungodly amount of money to hack into their rivals' systems for whatever bullshit reason, whether it be because they're competing and want to know what the other is cooking up, or because they have a lawsuit against one another and trying to find information. I don't give a fuck what their problems are with each other. It's only my concern that they get what they hired me for. In the end, someone wealthy gets fucked over, my client makes a massive profit from it, and I collect interest on it. It's dirty, but I've never been in the business of keeping my hands clean, and it allows me to dedicate my life to ending human trafficking. "Where?" I bark, my fingers already flying over the keyboard. "Already encrypted and sent to your email." I roll my neck, cracking the muscles and gearing up for something that's going to make the steak I just ate settle in my stomach like a wrecked ship in the ocean. The video starts playing, and despite my instincts screaming at me not to, I turn up the volume so I using the name. He snarls at my defiance, but doesn't reply. His mother always called him Archie, up until she died of breast cancer when he was 10 years old. That's when his father lost it and started dealing drugs to make money to pay off all the medical bills and funeral expenses. He raised his children to be cold and ruthless, and Archie here never let anyone call him by his mother's nickname without stabbing them. He stabbed a lot of people for calling him that name, including his best friend Max. His buddy complained about it a time or two in a bar Jay frequents. "Don't make me ask again," I warn, my voice lowering to convey just how serious I am. "I don't know," he shouts, frustrated. "A couple, I guess. The fuck does it matter?" "I read up on your ex-wife," I say, ignoring the stupid fucking question. "You beat her so badly she was barely recognizable when she was taken to the hospital. Evidence indicated that you broke a tequila bottle against her face and then stabbed her with it, not to mention the countless broken bones and bruises. You nearly killed her." Archie sniffs, not the slightest bit of remorse reflecting in his cold eyes. The narcissistic assholes never are. Somehow they twisted in their head that the victim deserved it, and whatever injuries inflicted upon them were their own fault. "She was cheating on me," he replies petulantly, pouting like a child that didn't get a birthday cake. "Did you cheat on her first?" "That doesn't matter," he snaps back. "She's the wife, and I make the money. If I feel like buying a stripper for a night, that's my goddamn right. All she ever did was sit at home on her lazy ass and spend my money." I nod, accepting his answer for what it is. "Would you have hurt Addie?" I ask after a pregnant pause. He scoffs. "I would have fucked her how I like to fuck. If she ends up with a couple of bruises, so what? Bitches like that shit. They like it rough." Renewed anger punches me in the chest, and it takes all my self-control not to plunge this screwdriver in his eye right then and there. Archie wouldn't know how to have proper rough sex if he was given a fucking manual for it. He hurts women because he enjoys it. He doesn't know how to push women to the edge of pain and pleasure, balancing between the two and making them desperate for more. He just hurts them. By the time he's done, the girl is thoroughly bruised and traumatized, maybe even bleeding, and he's walking away with a satisfied smirk on his face, as if he was the first man to prove a woman orgasming isn't actually a myth. "You didn't hurt Addie," I observe, waiting for the answer I know he'll give. He isn't desperate enough yet, scared enough. He's still attempting to put on a false bravado act and die with dignity, but that will change very soon. He smirks. You gotta relax them first. The plans I had for her. He trails off, licking his lips vulgarly. Her cries would have been such a beautiful song. Again, I nod my head in acceptance of the answer. I accept it because it fuels exactly what I have planned for him, and I'm very much going to embody his method for sex. I will enjoy hurting him and making him bleed, and him, he will wish he had never met Adeline Riley.
Chapter 10. The Manipulator. Have you heard anything? I interrogate, my phone growing slick from the persistent anxiety since Arch went missing from my doorstep. No one has been able to locate him, Daya answers through the phone. She's been looking into Arch's disappearance herself since I told her what happened last night, never one to rely on the police to solve anything. But Daya doesn't have much to go off of. She hacked into Arch's known enemies' systems, their cameras, phones, laptops, and the GPS on their cars. Just like we suspected, they had no connection to Arch's disappearance. At least, not that we could find. It was my shadow who took him. And without having any idea who he is, there's really no way to find Arch. I can't believe this is happening. I practically got this man killed, I say, tears pricking at my eyes. Babe, I hate to say this, but I don't think that's the worst thing that could have happened. I think this guy would have really hurt you. The things he did to his ex-wife, they're unspeakable. He wasn't a good man. None of those guys were. She trails off, and I don't need her words to know she's thinking about Luke. She said they had an incredible night together, but she ghosted him the second she found out what kind of guy Arch was. She said anyone who is friends with a man like Arch isn't a nice man themselves. Can't really disagree with that either. I take a deep breath. I know you're right. I guess I just don't like that he was hurt, maybe killed because of me. I would have much preferred one of his many enemies caught up with him. Yeah, that would have been the best-case scenario, she allows. The best-case scenario would have been a wild night of hot sex with a hot guy where I orgasm multiple times and then send him off on his merry way. I interrupt. She pauses a beat before saying, Yeah, you're right. But that's not what would have happened. Not with this guy's history. He's violent. Well, apparently, so is my stalker. I know, which is why I'm hooking you up with a security system. You are not going to be another statistic, not more than you already are. If you die, I have to follow, and I'm quite attached to my body. God gave me a good one this lifetime. I roll my eyes at her dramatics, especially because she's not even religious. Okay, just bill me for it. I agree. I like the idea of having cameras in my house. It makes me feel better about someone sneaking around when I can't see them. I'll be over later to set them up. Getting cameras will be the first thing to happen in a month that gives me any semblance of safety, no matter how fragile it is. I'm just finishing up another chapter when I hear the USPS truck pull up. The mailman has always been a pretty nice guy. He doesn't stick around long and spends most of his time glancing around nervously. The last time I asked him about it, he said something evil happened here, and since a man went missing off my doorstep last night, I'd say several evil things have happened here. I open the door just as he's dropping off several cases of books. I have to sign these and get them shipped out to my readers. 8 large boxes later, the mailman is panting, sweat running down his light brown face. Thank you, Pedro. Sorry for all the boxes, I say, waving awkwardly. He waves a hand in acknowledgement before getting back in his truck and shooting off. I sigh, staring at the boxes with a look of dread. These are going to be a bitch to haul in. I step out, but my foot knocks into the corner of something heavy. Looking down, I notice a small, lidded cardboard box. There's no shipping label on it, which means Pedro didn't drop this one off. My heart plummets, a burst of anxiety hitting me right in the gut. I don't know why, but my eyes dart towards the woods, as if I'm actually going to see someone standing there. I don't. Of course I don't. Sucking in a deep breath, I pick up the box, and then nearly drop it when I see a smear of blood where the box was sitting. Oh, fuck. Fuckity fuck. God! Please don't allow this to happen to me on this fine Sunday morning. Please let me not find what I think I'm going to find. I pray out loud, my voice cracking as a drop of blood lands on my toe. Hands shaking, I set the box back down and just panic. There's a drop of blood on my toe. I knew there was blood on my hands already, but now my toes? I can't take this. Before I can think about what I'm doing, I tip the lid off with my foot. Hands. Severed hands are in the box, just like I feared. Oh, fuck me. Fuck this shit. I twirl and run back in the house, scrambling to find my phone to call Daya. The line rings for all of 2 seconds before she answers. I'll be there in a few hours. Daya? What happened? She asks sharply. A hand. And another hand, 2 of them in a box on my porch. She curses, but my panic mutes the sound. Don't do anything yet. Wait till I get there. Daya orders. Go take a couple of shots and wait for me. I nod, despite that she can't see me, but it doesn't stop me from nodding again and then hanging up without a word. I do exactly as she says, taking 2 shots of vodka to calm my nerves, and then take deep breaths, slowly in and out until my racing heart calms. The fucker actually did it. He sent me Arch's hands. A part of me knew he wouldn't lie, but somehow I didn't believe it anyway. Shit, I mutter, dropping my head low between my shoulders, balancing my weight on the edge of the counter. 20 minutes later, Daya shows up, her car ripping through the driveway based on the squealing tires. Her car door slams shut. By the time I get to the door, she's approaching my gift, still sitting on the porch, her gaze riveted on the grotesque sight. This guy is fucking deranged. Daya spits, picking up the box to inspect the hands closer. Definitely Arch's too. He's got that stupid-ass star tattoo on his thumb. I blink, curious how she even knows that, but still too much in shock to open my mouth and ask. There's a note in here, she mumbles, plucking out a piece of paper covered in blood. Carefully, she opens it. It takes her 2 seconds to read it before she's sighing and handing it over. Hesitantly, I reach out and grab the note by the corner that doesn't have blood on it.
Well, I will enjoy punishing you for every time you call the police. Let's hold off this time. Wouldn't want to have to hurt them next, little mouse.
Is this guy shitting me? He's going to punish me? Don't you think sending me fucking severed hands is punishment enough, asshole? He's seriously going to threaten to kill a cop? I hiss. Daya swallows, her eyes darting to the hands. I think you need to listen this time, she says quietly. I look up at her, having come to the same conclusion. This guy is dangerous, very dangerous. As much as I want the police to handle this, there are 2 problems. I don't have any faith whatsoever that they'd be able to catch the guy, and secondly, I don't want anyone else to get hurt because of me. I don't know if I will be able to bear it. I don't know what to do, Daya, I whisper, my voice cracking. Daya sets the box down and rushes to me, enveloping me in a tight hug. I have a friend coming over to help install the security cameras and alarm system. Listen, normally I would say call the cops anyway, but I don't know, Addie. You know how I feel about cops as it is, but I truly don't believe they will be able to help you. I have some connections, and maybe we can hire a personal bodyguard or something. I'm shaking my head before she can finish her last sentence. So he can die too? She gives me a droll look. This isn't just going to be some guy off the streets, Addie. Whatever you're up against, they can't be more badass than a trained killer, right? Maybe, I concede. But I don't know about any of that yet. Having a bodyguard follow me everywhere just makes me feel like a damsel in distress. I can tell by the look on her face that she thinks I'm being stupid. I mean, I do have a hand-chopping, possible murderer stalking me. But then what? I have some random guy following me around until my shadow is caught, and who knows if that'll ever happen. I grind my teeth, overwhelmed with frustration. I don't want to live my life with an extra attachment, an extra limb. And in both scenarios, I have one. One is there to protect me, while the other is there to, I don't know, hurt me? Love me? Either way, I don't want either of them. Do you think Arch is dead? I ask, failing to keep the tremble out of my voice. She twists her lips. I don't know. It's definitely a possibility. But it's also possible he chopped off his hands and let him go as a warning. We won't know until Arch either shows up or doesn't. I nod. I'll let you know about the bodyguard thing. Let's just see how this alarm system thing works out first. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to dispose of these hands. I'll be back in an hour, and then we're getting hammered. My eyes widen. Daya, you don't have to do that. This is morbid enough, and I don't want you to have to... The severity of her expression stops me short, my words trailing off. I see worse every day, Addie. Go inside. I'll be back soon. Swallowing, I nod and turn towards my door, shooting one last lingering look at my best friend's retreating form, wondering what the hell she's involved in if she sees worse than chopped up body parts every day. They're all dead. The words are a bomb going off in my ear, like that judge in Law-Abiding Citizen. What? Arch's entire family was reported dead. His father, 2 brothers, an uncle, and 2 cousins. I don't know the details because the crime was fucking smooth as hell. No witnesses, no evidence, nothing. Oh my God. Do you think it was the stalker? She sighs, and even through the phone, I know she's twirling her nose ring. That's a pretty hefty crime, but not impossible. There's been word that when Arch was reported missing after you called the police, Connor started throwing some serious accusations around to their rivals. The police seem to think it was them, but with lack of evidence, there's no one to pin it on. I squeeze my eyes shut, a headache blooming in my temple. So, the stalker did kill Arch then? Probably. She hedges. If Arch made it back home before the family was wiped, he would have said who mutilated him, and Connor wouldn't have gone off on their rivals. So, I think it's plausible that Connor's accusations are what got the rest of them killed. There's so many emotions swirling in my head, and I can't make heads or tails of what I'm feeling. I'm fucking horrified that my shadow murdered somebody. But he was an evil man. That shouldn't matter, should it? And to be perfectly honest, I think his true intentions for killing Arch were because he touched me, not because of his crimes. Honestly, Daya, I'm a little relieved. Arch's family won't come for me now, and I feel so selfish saying that. Then we're both selfish bitches because I'm happy as hell. I snort at her enthusiasm. Look, the Talaveras were bad people. Arch wasn't the only one with a bad history. Connor had rape allegations against him, and their father must have taught them how to rape and beat a woman because his rap sheet, even worse. I nod my head, forgetting she can't see it. I certainly won't mourn their deaths, I mutter. After that, we hang up, both needing to get some work done, but my mind keeps wondering. Truly, I'm not sad to hear about the fate of the Talaveras, but there is still that niggling worry in the back of my head that my shadow is the one who delivered it to them. It's been a week since Arch went missing, and still no sign of my shadow. Not to say he still isn't sneaking around, but he hasn't made his presence known. Daya's friend set up my new alarm system and cameras, and I'm ashamed of how obsessive I've been with checking them since. The naive part of me is hoping now that I have a security system he'll stay away. But while I make a lot of stupid decisions, and I mean a lot, I'm not stupid enough to believe he isn't going to show up here soon. I stretch, groaning as my muscles crack, the bar stool in my kitchen doing little to support my back while I write. I've been working on a new fantasy novel about a girl escaping slavery, and the deadline I set for myself is quickly approaching. Right as I begin typing again, a creak from above snags my attention. The sound immediately has my heart kick-starting into overdrive. I pause, listening for any more noises. Several beats pass with no disturbance. The only sounds are the furnace and the low pattering of rain against the window. Just when I begin to think I'm losing my mind, I hear another creak from directly above me. Holding my breath, I slowly get up from the stool, the metal legs screeching against the tile. I wince, the eruption loud and unpleasant. Well, god damn it, good thing I didn't become a spy. I would so die on the job. Quickly, I walk over to the silverware drawer, slide it open, and grab the butcher knife. Holding this weapon is starting to become a daily routine, and I'm becoming bored with it. I don't stop to think about what I'm doing. I clamber towards the stairs, whip around the railing, and quietly make my way up the steps. Briefly, I consider the movie title of the horror movie they'd make after my life. Making my way down the hall, I peek into open rooms, holding the knife out in front of me. The hallway is long and wide, with 5 of the bedrooms up here. Just as I step out of one of the empty bedrooms, I hear a small thump. It sounded like it came from my room. With bated breath, I creep down the hallway, holding all my weight on my toes. No fucking idea how ballerinas do it. My bedroom door is shut. Adrenaline steadily releases into my bloodstream, like injecting heroin in a vein. It wasn't shut before. I stand outside my door, staring at it as if it's going to grow a face and warn me of what's inside. That'd totally be beneficial right now, because not knowing what I will find on the other side is the worst part. That's what makes my heart pound viciously in my chest and tightens my lungs. Will I open the door and see the shadow from my nightmares going through my things? My eyes widen, realization hitting that the sick fuck could be going through my underwear drawer. The thought sends a tsunami of anger washing over me, and before I can consider the ramifications, I barrel through the door. No one is inside. I charge through the room, checking every corner before storming out onto the balcony. No one. Chest heaving, I whip around and scope out the room, trying to figure out where an intruder could hide. My eyes pause on the closet. I aim for it, sliding the door open so forcefully it nearly comes off the track. My arm lashes through the clothing, searching for someone that isn't here. But I know I heard something. My breath catches when I turn, and my eyes sweep across my bed, forcing me to backtrack. Right under my bed is Gigi's diary, lying on the floor and flipped open. That must have been what the thump was, but how the fuck did it fall? My blood freezes when I look on my nightstand and see the diary I've been reading still there. I had put Gigi's other 2 diaries in my nightstand for safekeeping until I got to them, so how did one of them end up on the floor? With another suspicious sweep of the room, I walk over to the book and pick it up, leaving it open. Skimming my eyes across the page, I pause when I take in the words. Judging by the dates, it's the last book she wrote in before she died. The 3 books span across 2 years, Gigi having died on May 20th, 1946. The book was open on an entry 2 days before Gigi's murder, May 18th. She's expressing fear, but she doesn't say of who. Clearly, she's terrified of something. My heart thumps harder as I ingest her rushed words. She talks about someone being after her, scaring her. Who, though? Forgetting about everything else around me, I sit on the edge of the bed and flip to the beginning. With each passing entry, her words become clipped and fearful. Before I know it, I'm nearly ripping through the pages, trying to find any inkling of who her murderer is. But on the very last page, her last words are, "He came for me." No lipstick kiss on the page, just those 4 daunting words. I turn the page, looking to see if there's more, desperate for it, actually. There are no more entries, but I do notice something strange. A jagged piece of paper sticks out from the spine. I trace my fingers over it. A page has been ripped out of the diary. Did she write down something important and decide it wasn't worth the risk of anyone knowing? All 3 of these books are risque, full of cheating and sex, above all, full of love for a man that stalked her. I look up, staring ahead but seeing nothing. When Mom left, she left with the hopes that I'd listen to her advice and move out of Parsons Manor. But when she walked out of that door, the sickening smell of her Chanel perfume lingering in my nostrils, I decided I didn't want to move. Did Nana have a weird attachment to the manor? Possibly. But if this house meant so much to her, it doesn't feel right to give it away. Even if that means I have an unhealthy attachment too. And now that decision is only solidifying. There's no way this book could have ended up on the floor. Yet it did. And I don't know if it was Nana's doing or Gigi's, but someone wanted me to read these entries. Do they want me to find the person who killed Gigi? God, I can't imagine how difficult it would have been to solve a murder in the 40s with such underwhelming technology. Is her murderer even still alive? Maybe it doesn't matter if he is or not. Maybe Gigi wants justice for her murder and for the man that ended her life too soon to be exposed, dead or alive. I exhale a shaky breath, my fingers tracing the 4 daunting words. He came for me. Can you please explain to me why you're making me hack into the PD's database to look at crime photos of your murdered grandmother? Daya asks from beside me, her fingers hovering over her mouse. I'm tempted to reach over and push her finger down for her so she'll finally click the damn button. Once she does, it'll pull up Gigi's records. I sigh. I told you already, she was murdered, and I think I know who did it. Well, I don't know anything about him but his first name and the fact that he stalked her. Daya eyes me, but eventually relents. She clicks the mouse finally and pulls up Gigi's crime scene photos. They're pretty disturbing. Gigi had been found in her bed with her throat slit and a cigarette burn on her wrist. They never found the killer due to insufficient evidence. A lot of blame pointed towards the officers that responded to the call, citing that they trampled all over the crime scene. Evidence was lost or contaminated by the police force, and fingers were pointed. But ultimately, no one was held accountable for it. Daya clicks through the photos, each one more disturbing than the last. Close-up pictures of the wound on her neck, the burn on her wrist. Gigi's face frozen in fear as her dead eyes stare back at the camera, and her signature lipstick smeared across her cheek. I swallow, the sight a stark contrast to the picture that concealed her safe. Her wide, smiling face so full of life and fire, and then her dead, cold body frozen in fear. Whoever had killed her had scared her pretty bad. A niggling feeling tugs at the back of my head. Based on Gigi's entries, her stalker didn't scare her. In fact, it sounds like he did the exact opposite. I shake the thought from my head. He was obsessed with her, and there were several entries nearing her death that indicated they weren't getting along due to his jealousy over her marriage. His obsession must have been of the deadly variety. Daya then clicks over to the police reports, not just the ones released to the public, but documents from the investigation that were confidential. Technically, the investigation is still open. It's just gone cold. We took our time reading through the documents, but in the end, the only thing we learned was the time of death and the fact that Gigi fought, and fought hard. My great-grandfather, John, was immediately ruled out due to having several eyewitness reports seeing him at the grocery store during the time of the murder. I bite my lip, the thought eliciting guilt, yet I can't help but think it. What if he was still an accomplice? I shake the thought from my head. No, there's no way. My great-grandfather loved Gigi, despite the fact that their marriage was falling apart at the seams. It had to be her stalker. It's the obvious explanation. The stalker gained Gigi's trust somehow, made her feel comfortable enough that she relaxed around him. And then he killed her. There has to be significance to that ripped-out page, I murmur, growing frustrated from the lack of evidence. I could never be a detective and do this shit every day. Maybe the killer did it, Daya guesses, scrolling mindlessly through the pictures. I twist my lips, considering it before I shake my head. No, that wouldn't make sense. Why would they rip only one page out and not just dispose of all the journals? They're all incriminating, whether it was the stalker or someone else. Gigi speaks of being hunted. And if it wasn't the stalker, then they could have easily pinned the blame on Ronaldo and been done with it. Whoever it was, they can't have known about these. Gigi had to have ripped the page out before hiding the books. Daya nods her head. You're right. Whatever is on that missing page is important, but we can't rely on that. We need to figure out who Ronaldo is, I conclude. Dia nods her head, appearing a little exhausted from the thought. Can't say I'm not either. And we have nothing to go off of. There's no mention of his last name, barely any physical description. He had a scar on his hand, I offer, recalling mentions of those things in Gigi's diary. And wore a gold ring. Did she mention his social standing, job, anything that could lead us to who he might be? I twist my lips. I'll have to look again. I remember she said he was involved in something dangerous, but I haven't gotten the chance to read through everything yet. She nods and heaves out a weighted sigh. Until then, I think we're going to be stuck until we find Ronaldo or that missing page. I sigh, my shoulders drooping. That could literally be anywhere, or it not even exist anymore. Dia looks at me then, sympathy in her eyes. We'll keep trying different avenues. I'm just as invested as you at this point. I shoot her a grateful smile before looking back at the crime scene photos. This was undoubtedly a crime of passion, and if I know anything, stalkers tend to be deeply passionate about their obsessions. I bolt upright, a gasp lingering on the tip of my tongue. Sweat coats my skin and my hair is plastered to my cheeks, neck, and down my back. I can't remember what I was dreaming about, but something woke me. Heart pounding, my sleep-riddled eyes drift over the dark room. Just enough light from the moon filters in through the balcony doors. The furniture casts shadows across the room, creating figures that aren't really there. I don't mind the phantoms dancing across my floor, but whatever woke me has a presence, a soul. The floorboards creak from my right, outside my bedroom door. My head snaps in the direction, and I suck in a sharp breath. The hair rises on the back of my neck, like a scared dog backed in a corner. I hold the air in my lungs, careful not to make a sound should I hear the noise again. Stillness settles around the house. Too still. My fingers clench the duvet on my lap as my heart rate increases. Someone is outside my room. But how? How the fuck did he make it past the alarm system? Another creak followed by heavy footsteps. A methodical walk, slow and purposeful. Intentional. I slowly slip out of bed and tiptoe backwards until my back presses against the cool stone wall, creating distance between the intruder outside my door and me. Despite my best efforts, I release a shaky breath. My chest heaves with small, fast pants as the footsteps come closer. I'm frozen. My back is pressed so deeply into the stone that I'm becoming a part of it, preventing me from moving, from hiding. The footsteps stop outside my door. Desperately, my eyes search across the expanse of the room. They land on a lone screwdriver sitting on the chest at the end of the bed. I had carelessly tossed it aside after assembling my vanity chair, and now it sits there like a beacon of hope. Possibly the only thing that could keep me alive tonight. Move, Addie. God damn it, move! My limbs unlock, and I rush to the screwdriver, gripping the tool in my slick hands. My eyes are glued to the door handle, waiting for the knob to turn. Quietly, I slink over to the door and mold myself to the wall. I'll wait for him to come in and then attack. Hopefully, I can get the screwdriver lodged in his neck before he knows what's happening. So with bated breath, I wait. The knob doesn't turn, but I can feel deep in my bones that someone is out there. Are they waiting for me? They're out of their mind if they think I'll open that door. I suppose they must be, though, if they're breaking into my house and lingering outside my room. The longest minute of my life passes. It feels like it's been hours before I hear another creak, and then I hear the footsteps retreat. Further and further they fade, until eventually I no longer hear them at all. My ears prick, and just like I suspected, I hear my front door shut. A soft click that feels like thunder in a silent house. Instantly, I rip open the door and run across the hall into the bedroom with windows that face the driveway. Hunkering down, I peek through the curtains and wait for the person to emerge from the front porch. It feels like an eternity passes, but I imagine it's only been seconds before I see movement. An audible cry leaves my lips when a large man saunters off the steps and walks out onto my driveway. He's wearing all black with a deep hood settled over his head. He's tall, Very tall, but not bulky. Even beneath his clothing, I can tell his body is fucking lethal, lean but packed with muscle. His hoodie clings to his body, showing off his broad shoulders, thick arms, and trimmed waist. God, he could crush me if he wanted to. His hands look big enough to cover the entirety of my face, or wrap around my neck. Would he do it to cause pain or pleasure? Does my shadow want to hurt me or love me? He stills, his back facing me. He can feel me watching him, just like I felt him outside my door. I find myself curling deeper into the shadows, out of sight. My heart is still racing, though now for an entirely different reason. Something about him has me wanting to press my face into the window. I want to see him. I want to see the man that's been creeping inside my house, leaving me flowers and mutilating any unsuspecting soul that dared to touch me. Was his hand on the knob, ready to come in? What stopped him? As if hearing my thoughts, he cocks his head slightly. Intently, I watch him slowly turn his head to the side. And ever so slightly, he raises his chin, the moonlight revealing his wide mouth and a sharp jaw. I huddle deeper into the wall, feeling his eyes on me. There's no way he can see me. Yet somehow I feel his gaze piercing me anyway. Like little sharp knives grazing my skin before digging inside me. And then he smiles, his mouth stretching into a wicked smirk. My breath hitches and my lungs fill with fire. Oh, this is funny to you, asshole? Before I can process what to do, what I'm feeling, he turns and walks away, disappearing into the tree line. Slow and purposeful, as if he doesn't have a care in the world. September 18th, 1944. He came back. Ronaldo came back. He was bruised and hurt when he did. Cuts marred his beautiful face. Bruises discolored his skin. I was so excited to see him, I threw myself at him. Only then did I notice the grunt of pain. I nearly cried when I saw his hurt. He couldn't tell me what happened, but I think the distance got to both of us, because I lied with another man. A man that was not my husband. And I'm finding it very hard to find the regret. There's shame, I feel that, but not regret. In fact, all I want to do is do it again. Chapter 11. The Manipulator. Daya said Nana was the freak, but I'm starting to wonder if it was her mother that was the freak. I skimmed through the diary, reading over her words. I'm sitting in the same rocking chair Gigi used to sit in to write in her diary while her stalker watched on, while she let him feast his eyes on her and got off on it too, apparently. Snapping the book shut, I throw it on the footstool before me, the furniture rocking from the movement of the heavy book. I sigh heavily, pinching the bridge of my nose to ward off the blooming headache. I mean, what was she thinking? Letting a strange man watch her, come into her home and touch her? That's insane. Certifiably insane. What's truly insane is the fact that I found this diary and a stalker found me on the same night. I don't want to think about what that means. The wind blows outside the window, rattling the glass. Storm clouds are rolling in, the ever-present weather that plagues Seattle like bad acne. Just when you think we're going to have a lovely sunny day, a storm cloud pops up, ready to burst. Okay, gross, Addie. A loud thump sounds from the kitchen, causing me to nearly jump out of my seat. Heart pumping heavily in my chest, I look towards the direction and find nothing amiss. Hello? I call out, but no one answers. Attempting to even my breathing, I turn back right as movement from the corner of my eye snags my attention, right outside the window. My head snaps in that direction, and my eyes zero in on whatever it was I just saw. It's nearly pitch black outside, save for the moonlight and a single light outside my front door. Another flash of movement causes me to nearly plant my face against the glass. It's a person, walking towards my house, having emerged from between two large trees. My eyes narrow into thin slits as the person's shape becomes more apparent. He's back. After 2 nights of nothing, the son of a bitch actually came back. My hand drifts over to the end table next to me, snagging the butcher knife I've been carrying around with me since he broke into my house last. Turns out my security cameras are useless with him. The second he left, I checked them just to find out that they didn't catch sight of him. When Dia looked into it, her face dropped and her eyes went wide with terror. He spliced the cameras, hacked into them, and made it appear as if nothing was happening while he was walking through my house while I slept. She said not only did he splice the camera feed, but he did it so well it was untraceable. The only reason Dia was even able to come to that conclusion is because she knows how technology works, and she does the same thing herself for her job. This guy is dangerous, in more ways than just his violent tendencies. I grip the handle in my fist and settle it on my lap. As he nears, my heart pounds in my chest, matching each step he takes towards me. I stand and close in on my window. I don't know what I'm doing exactly. Provoking him? Daring him to come inside my house again? If he does, I have every right to defend myself. The man stops about 20 feet away, his face once again hidden deep in a hood. He widens his stance as if getting comfortable, plunging a hand into his hoodie pocket and pulls out something I can't see. It's not until I see him flick a lighter, defining his impossibly sharp jawline and a cigarette sticking out from his mouth. He lights the cigarette, and then the flame goes out, leaving nothing but his moonlit silhouette and a blaring cherry. He stares, and I stare back. Without looking away, I grab my phone from the end table. I listened to him and didn't call the cops when he sent me that fucked-up box of hands, but he didn't say I couldn't call them when he's standing 20 feet outside my window. I look down to unlock my phone, and when I glance up, my thumb freezes. The moonlight spills over his silhouette, and with perfect clarity, I watch him slowly shake his head at me, warning me not to do what I'm about to do. I glance at my front door, fear steadily trickling through my body at an alarming rate. It's locked, but he's already proven that it's futile. I calculate the distance between him and the door. How long would it take him to run to it, break through, and get to me? At least a solid 30 seconds. That's enough time to dial 911 and tell them someone is trying to hurt me, right? But it would be pointless. It's going to take the police no less than a half hour to get to me. As if hearing my thoughts, he takes a few steps closer, his hand periodically pulling the cigarette from his mouth as he puffs. Is he challenging me? My spine snaps straight, and white-hot rage fills my vision. Who the hell does this dude think he is? Growling under my breath, I storm to my door, unlock it, and whip it open. He turns his head to face me, and for a moment, I almost develop a brain and run back inside. Steeling my spine, I angrily stomp down the steps and charge towards him. Hey, asshole! If you don't get off my property, I will call the cops. Later, I'll ask God why she made me the way that I am, but right now, all I can do is plant 2 of my hands on his chest and push when I get close enough. I don't allow myself to register the defined muscles under his hoodie, because only psychos would focus on that right now. The behemoth of a man doesn't move back an inch, nor does he speak, or react, or do anything. Harsh, angry breaths huff from my nose like a bull as I glare at the hooded man. I can't see much of his face except the bottom half, but I can feel his eyes burning into me. Soon, my body will smolder until there's nothing left but ashes dancing in the cold wind. What do you want from me? I hiss, curling my hands into fists, only to abate the shaking. My whole body has begun to vibrate from anger and fear, but also from something else. Something so disturbing I refuse to put a name to it. He doesn't answer, but he does grin. A slow, sinful twist of his lips that sends sparks skittering down my spine. With deliberation, his tongue darts out and licks his bottom lip. My eyes zero in on the movement, the act primal, animalistic, and fucking terrifying. My heart starts to claw its way up my throat. Swallowing it back down, I narrow my eyes and open my mouth to yell at him some more. Before I can, he takes a single step back. And though I can't see it, I know he's giving me a once-over. Then he turns and walks away. Just like that. Not a single word spoken, not an explanation offered. Not even a crazy confession of how he wants us to be together or some shit. Nothing. I stand there and watch his retreating form, going back to whatever portal from hell he crawled out of. I stare until he's gone, and I begin to contemplate if I really have lost my mind and just imagined the whole thing. Surely I wouldn't be so stupid to confront a psychopath. The very psychopath that cut off a man's hands and left them on my doorstep. But that's precisely what I did. And he did nothing in return except lick his lips at me like he plans to feast on me. Oh no. What if I have a second coming of Jeffrey Dahmer stalking me? Heart back in my throat, I turn and rush back inside, feeling like Lucifer's hounds are nipping at my ass cheeks. And when I shut and lock the door behind me, I look back to the rocking chair I was sitting in and see the knife lying haphazardly on the floor, next to the footstool. Oh my God. I confront a psycho and I drop the knife on the ground instead of bringing it with me. God, why did you make me the way that I am? Next lifetime, can you not do such a shitty job? As a reward for finishing my manuscript and sending it off to my editor, I'm treating myself to a nice murder investigation. Dia sent over more notes that she found from the PD's database. Emails pour in by the minute with more details. Most of it is handwritten reports by men with atrocious penmanship. And with the mishandling of the crime scene, we essentially have nothing to go on. My great-grandfather mentioned in a report that she was acting strangely for several months leading up to her death. She was distant, not as talkative, paranoid, short-tempered with Nana, and she was late picking her up from school several times with no explanation as to why. Gigi wouldn't talk about it with her husband, which led to several arguments between them. In the reports, he admitted their relationship had been declining for the past 2 years. He had begged Gigi to talk to him about her change in behavior, but she claimed nothing was amiss. I spend hours dissecting Gigi's diary entries, looking for hidden meanings in everything she wrote, searching for the entries where she expresses fear and discomfort. But whatever scared her so much that she couldn't even write it out in words. Part of me wishes these journals had been found during her investigation. I might have never gotten to read them if they had been, but maybe then they might have been able to solve her case. I sigh and run my hands through my thick hair. My shoulders are starting to burn from my hunched-over position, and my eyes are growing bleary from all the reading. A headache blooms in my temples, worsening my vision until I can't see or think straight anymore. I sit back in the rocking chair and look out the window. My strangled scream pierces the air when I see the stalker is back, standing in the same spot as before, puffing on his stupid cigarette. It's been 3 days since I confronted him, and I've been on high alert ever since, waiting for him to break in again, and this time come into my room while I'm sleeping. My heart lobs around in my chest, pumping erratically. A low heat sparks in the pit of my stomach, my mouth drying as the burn descends between my thighs. I'm glued to the chair, panting from the heady mix of fear and arousal. My cheeks burn from shame, but the feeling doesn't dissipate. I should close the curtains, do myself a favor and cut us both off from our silent war. But for some unknown reason, I can't get myself to move, to pick up the phone and call the police, to do anything that would classify me as intelligent and having common sense. Those things are non-existent as I stare out at the man. Whatever ghosts haunt these walls are no longer relevant, not when there's something much more dangerous haunting the grounds. As if the ghosts heard me, light footsteps sound from above me. I turn my head and lift my eyes to the ceiling, tracking the phantom footsteps until they fade away. And when I turn back, my stalker is a few feet closer, as if he's wondering what I'm staring at, questioning what could have possibly turned my attention away from him. He's wondering if it's another man, I'm sure. Maybe he thinks Grayson is back, occupying the house somewhere, calling out for me and asking me to join him in my bed, naked and hard for me. Maybe he even thinks we just fucked. My thighs still slick with another man's seed. Does that piss him off? Of course it does. He mutilated and killed a man for touching me. What would he do to a man for fucking me? What would he do to me? Doesn't matter that it's the furthest thing from the truth. The fact that those thoughts could be running through his head and driving him crazy brings a small smile to my lips. Just to fuck with him, I turn my head and pretend to shout something out. "What are you doing?" I say aloud, aiming my words towards a ghost that'll never reply. Looking back at my shadow, I see him pull out his phone, the blue light getting lost in the depths of his hood as he looks at something. Several seconds later, he tucks it away in his pocket, slides out another cigarette from the pack, and lights it up. Chain smoker. Gross. He sticks around for another 15 minutes, and during that time, I scarcely look away. It feels like a game almost, and I've always been a sore loser. I'm thinking, Jesus, I don't have to travel for this book signing event. Another big romance author is hosting it, and luckily it takes place in good old Seattle. A thin layer of sweat coats my skin as I look myself over one last time in the mirror. "You've done a million of these, girlfriend. You're going to be fine," Daya assures from behind me. I'm wearing a flattering red blouse that shows off my body nicely without looking too racy or inappropriate, and ripped black mom jeans. I painted my lips red and slipped on comfortable checkered Vans. My cinnamon hair is curled into loose beach waves, completing the casual but chic look. I don't usually like to dress up for these things. I'm sitting in a chair all day, so I make sure to look nice enough to take pictures with and leave the rest to comfort. I sniff my armpit, double-checking that my deodorant didn't lie to me and doesn't fight against tough odors. I know, but it doesn't make them any easier, I grumble. "What do you call yourself?" Daya asks, quirking a brow at me. I sigh. A master manipulator? Why? I roll my eyes. Because I manipulate people's emotions with my words when they read my books, I grouse. Exactly. So that's all you do, except your mouth says the words instead of your fingers. Fake it till you make it, baby. I nod my head, looking at my underarms in the mirror from all angles. My deodorant may claim to fight tough odors, but the shirt didn't come with a tag that said it was pit stain resistant. Sighing again, I drop my arms. It's not that I don't love meeting my readers, I just don't do well in crowds and social situations. I'm too awkward. You're also a great liar. That's what you do for a living. Just smile and pretend you're not having one big panic attack. Another roll of my eyes as I grab my purse from the bed. You're such a great pep talker, I say dryly. She snorts in response. Daya sucks at pep talking, and she knows it. She's the logical person in our friendship, while I'm the emotional one. She's all about offering solutions, while I'd rather roll around in my dread and anxiety and wax on about it. Guess I'm more like my mother than I thought. I'll still never admit it out loud. The event is a blast, as usual. Every time, I work myself up for these events, and I always end up never wanting to leave by the time they're over. Getting the chance to meet up with other author friends and attempting to run away with all their signed books while laughing maniacally is what truly brings me peace in life. What truly brings me happiness is seeing the many smiling faces eager to meet me and get signed books of mine. I love my career as a professional manipulator. I'm fortunate to do what I do. I'm a tad tipsy from getting drinks at a bar after the event, so Daya is driving me back home in my car. We laugh and giggle over funny moments and even gossip about the crazy drama that always circulates the book community. We're riding a high from having such a good time, but our smiles bleed dry as she pulls up to the house. A lone light is on, shining through the bay window. I turned off all the lights before we left. I go to scramble out of the car, but Daya's firm grip around my hand stops me. "He could still be in there," she says urgently, her grip tightening almost painfully. "He fucking better be," I growl, wrangling my arm from her grip. I slip out of the car before Daya can try to stop me again and charge towards the manor. "Addie, stop! You're being stupid." I am, but the alcohol has only made my anger more potent. Before Daya can stop me, I'm unlocking the front door and barreling into the house. A single light is on over my kitchen sink, too weak to illuminate the front of the house properly. No one is waiting for me, so I start flipping on lights to diminish the ominous tone in the air. Come out, you freak! I yell, storming into the kitchen and grabbing the largest knife I can find. When I turn, Daya is standing in the doorway, looking around the room with an alarmed expression on her face. I was so intent on killing the bastard, I didn't even bother to look around. The entire living room is covered in red roses. My mouth pops open, and the words on my tongue stutter and evaporate. I turn and spot an empty whiskey glass sitting on the counter, a dribble of alcohol at the bottom of the glass, and a distinct mark on the lip. Lying next to the glass is a single red rose. My widened gaze clashes with Daya's. All we can do is just stare at each other in shock. Heart in my throat, I finally choke out. I need to check the rest of the house. Addie, he could still be here. We need to call the police and leave, now. I bite my lip, two halves warring inside me. I want to look for him, confront him, and stab him in the eye a few times. But I can't endanger Daya more than I already have. I can't keep being stupid about this. Relenting, I nod my head and follow her out of the manor. The brisk air doesn't even penetrate the ice settling in my bones. What else did he do? A snarl forms when I realize that he probably went into my bedroom, touched my underwear, maybe even stole some. The operator's voice cuts through my thoughts. I was so zoned out I hadn't realized Daya called the police for me. She describes the situation, and after a few minutes, the operator dispatches an officer and lets us know it'll take him 20 minutes to get to us. I know the stalker isn't here anymore. I know it in my bones. But I'm hoping he's a criminal and in the system. That way his DNA from the whiskey glass will identify him. But just like I know he's no longer here, I know it won't be that easy to catch him either. Come home with me tonight, Daya says. We're both tired and stone-cold sober after talking to the police for 2 hours. They searched the house, and he was nowhere to be found. They did take prints from the whiskey glass to see if they could get a match. I'm exhausted, so I nod my head. Her house is 20 minutes away, and it's a good thing I tailed her the entire time, or else I might have lost focus and drove without direction. Daya lives in a quaint house in a nice, quiet neighborhood. She parks the car, and we both slump our way into the house. Her house would be fairly empty if it weren't for the furniture and the thousands of computers everywhere. She takes her work seriously, and while she doesn't talk much about her job, I know she deals with some pretty heavy matters. She's mentioned before that she deals with the dark web and human trafficking, and that alone is enough to give someone night terrors. Apparently, her boss is strict with keeping the details confidential, but there's been times where Daya has looked more haunted than Parsons Manor. When I had asked what she gets out of it, she had said saving innocent lives. That was all I needed to hear to know that Daya is a hero. You know where the guest bedroom is, Daya says, lazily pointing her finger in the direction. Do you want some company? I'm sure you're really freaked out. I force a smile. I love you for offering, but I think we both just need sleep right now, I say. Daya nods, and after wishing me good night, retires to her room. I flop on the white duvet in her guest bedroom. Just like the rest of her house, it's pretty bare in here, light blue walls decorated with a few oceanic pictures and white gauzy curtains. My eyes snag on those. Not the curtains themselves, but what's in between them. For the second time tonight, my heart lodges into my throat, pulsating against my voice box and preventing me from making a sound. Outside the window is the silhouette of a man, staring directly at me. I take a step back, ready to turn and call for Daya. When my phone buzzes, I flinch, freezing me in place and nearly choking me on the fear. Keeping one eye on the man, I slide my phone out of my pocket and see a new text message.
Unknown. You didn't like my flowers?
November 19th, 1944. I can't get enough of him. I'm embarrassed to even admit it. It's been months, but yet it feels like each time is new. Frank and John are going fishing today, and I'm ashamed to say that I can't wait until they leave. Despite my change in attitude, John hasn't suspected me of cheating. It's terrible, but I don't regret this love affair. Ronaldo makes me feel beautiful, cherished, something I haven't felt since before I had Sarah. He treats me like a woman, not someone to do his bidding and make him food. And certainly not like fine china, but a woman who loves to be properly ravished. I try my best not to think about it when John is home. I can't seem to control the smile on my face. And it's been so long since John has made me smile, I fear he'll grow even more suspicious.
Chapter 12. The Shadow. "There's another video," Jay says through the phone, his voice solemn. I scramble up from my couch and make my way into my office. An array of computer screens line the 10-foot-long desk, and all my other illegal devices in here. Jammers, trackers, buttons that set off explosives in a number of places should someone betray me, and so on. This room alone is worth millions with all the shit I have in here. It's both my happy place and my living nightmare. This is where I make a difference in the world, where I find women and children who need saving, while also witnessing the torture those sick individuals put them through. It takes money to infiltrate high-security buildings, rescue the girls, and give them sanctuary and safety off the grid. Big corporations pay me an ungodly amount of money to hack into their rivals' systems for whatever bullshit reason, whether it be because they're competing and want to know what the other is cooking up, or because they have a lawsuit against one another and trying to find information. I don't give a fuck what their problems are with each other. It's only my concern that they get what they hired me for. In the end, someone wealthy gets fucked over, my client makes a massive profit from it, and I collect interest on it. It's dirty, but I've never been in the business of keeping my hands clean, and it allows me to dedicate my life to ending human trafficking. "Where?" I bark, my fingers already flying over the keyboard. "Already encrypted and sent to your email." I roll my neck, cracking the muscles and gearing up for something that's going to make the steak I just ate settle in my stomach like a wrecked ship in the ocean. The video starts playing, and despite my instincts screaming at me not to, I turn up the volume so I can hear. It's a grainy video of a fucked up satanic ritual. The person recording is breathing heavily, more than likely from the risk of being caught doing something extremely dangerous. 4 robed men stand over a stone slab with a squirming little boy tied down to it. Over and over, he's screaming to let him go, his little voice breaking as he cries for help. I run a hand over my face when they plunge a curved knife into his chest. They fill metal goblets with his blood and drink the entirety of the cup in one swallow. I force myself to watch and endure the pain alongside this boy, because even though this innocent soul is now gone, that doesn't mean I won't do everything in my power to find justice for him. When the video is over, I have to turn away and breathe through the urge to vomit. "See?" I had forgotten Jay was even on the phone. "Yeah," I respond, my voice hoarse and barely there. I couldn't watch it, man. I couldn't do it." I close my eyes and breathe deeply. "That's okay," I say. "You don't need to." Jay knows how hard I take these things, but he also knows I refuse to turn away from them. That's what most people do when it comes to human trafficking. Everybody knows it exists, and most will educate themselves on how to avoid it, but they can't watch when it comes to the reality of it, can't listen, can't see the depravity, because if they don't look, then they can go back to their normal lives and live on as if there aren't thousands of people out here dying every day. Jay isn't one of those people. He's doing what he can, but he also doesn't have the stomach for it, and I can't blame him, because I don't either. And to be honest, the people who do are the ones who are trafficking them and committing the crimes. "Is it the 4 we've been tracking?" I ask. Jay sighs. "No. Mark was spotted at a restaurant last night with his wife during the timestamp of the video. Looks like different men, but these ones aren't identifiable. I imagine they only do the ritual once." I nod my head, my mind racing as I try to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. About 6 months ago, a video leaked on the dark web of 4 men in black robes performing a ritual on a little girl. I'm not sure if it was arrogance or what, but the men kept their hoods down, unfazed with onlookers seeing exactly who they were. Even with the low-quality video and dim lighting, I was able to identify them immediately. Senators Mark Steinberg, Miller Foreman, Jack Baird, and Robert Fisher. They surrounded the little girl on a slab of cement, stabbed her, and then drank her blood. The girl was still alive, wriggling and screaming at the top of her lungs as the men chanted around her. The same exact ritual the little boy just went through, still looping on my computer screen. Except in this one, the 4 men surrounding the little boy have tall, sharp-pointed hoods drawn over their heads, concealing their identities. I can already feel myself slipping back into that black hole it took weeks to crawl out of 6 months ago. It put me in one of the darkest headspaces I've ever been in. I locked myself in a room and didn't come out for 26 hours after watching that first video. I was physically unable to go on living my normal day-to-day with the knowledge that this was being done to children. That helplessness grew as I explored the dark web and found thousands of videos of parents raping their own children, alongside the millions of other videos of torture, cannibalism, and even necrophilia. A lot of those videos take place in red rooms, where buyers can direct how exactly they want the victim to be tortured, raped, and killed. And those are just the ones involving children. Those videos in particular are what drove me to create Z 5 years ago. Since I was a kid, I had a knack for computer science, and my skills have surpassed even the top hackers in government organizations. Finding myself on the dark web and stumbling upon those videos was by accident, but it changed my fucking life. I haven't been able to sleep since then, knowing sick people pay to view hundreds of thousands of children being subjected to those things. Even worse, knowing that the people committing the acts do it both for their own pleasure and monetary gain. And that just as many women and children continue to go missing every day so they can be subjected to those same things. Since then, I made it my mission to find and kill them all. I've killed hundreds of people at this point, locating predators that I have 100% proof of their involvement in human trafficking. Now I'm going to make my way through the government, starting with the 4 politicians from the first video, and then making my way through the rest. I know exactly where they live, what they eat, where they sleep, shit, and work. But what they haven't led me to is where these rituals take place. And every day that goes by without that information, these rituals will be performed more. Did we get a hit on an IP address from who leaked the video? I asked Jay, though I already know the answer. No, they covered their tracks. Whoever leaked it knew what they were doing, Jay answers. I roll my neck again, gritting my teeth against the flaring pain radiating from the tightened muscles. More than anything, I'd love to feel my little mouse's hands working out the near-permanent knots in my neck and shoulders, but it'll be a little while before she agrees to that. All right, I'll see what I can find out with this new video, I say, before ending the call. Fuck, I need a drink, and my little mouse happens to have a bottle of my favorite whiskey in her house. A bone-chilling cold settles on the back of my neck. I hiss through my teeth and turn my head, convinced I'll find someone standing behind me. But no one is there despite the persistent cold surrounding me like dense fog. I've already experienced a few unexplainable things while perusing Parsons Manor. But whatever ghost that's floating up my ass has bad fucking timing. Back off, I mutter through gritted teeth, turning back around. Surprisingly, it does, whatever it is. And I go back to staring mindlessly into my whiskey glass. Whoever's whiskey this is, it's divine. A citrus flavor lingers on my tongue as I sip from the crystal cup. Addie's upstairs sleeping, none the wiser to me being down here, drinking her whiskey and stewing in the hornet's nest buzzing throughout my skull. 2 of my employees installed security systems throughout her house, unknowingly to keep their boss out. I basically invented these systems, so I'm more than capable of disarming them with a click of my phone. In the beginning, I just picked her locks to get in, then reverse picked them after I left. The only predator I'll allow in her house is myself. Despite her shit locks, I'd never leave her vulnerable. I was relieved when she installed the security system, even if it was meant to keep me out. Breaking past those barriers is just another lesson to teach. Eventually, she'll learn that she can't shut me out any more than she can fuck another man. She tried to convince me of that the other day, but with one look at her cameras, I knew she was bluffing, trying to get me riled up. It almost worked until I remembered that I'm taking it slow with her. In the beginning, I tried so hard to forget her. I tried to run, but I couldn't get her out of my mind. I went home from that bookstore and attempted to talk myself down, but it seemed the more I struggled to convince the beast inside of me to leave her alone, the more it raged. And the second I started looking into her life, digging up anything I could find, the obsession only grew. She became an inoperable brain tumor that plagues every waking moment of my life. Sometimes it feels like if I tried to cut her out of me anyways, I wouldn't survive it. Taking another swallow of whiskey, I twirl a red rose between my thumb and forefinger, a drop of blood pooling from where the thorn pricked me. Ignoring them, I keep rolling the dangerous stem between my fingers, a vortex of anger and anxiety swirling in my stomach. Children are being tortured at this very moment, this second, this millisecond, while I sit here and drink liquor from a crystal glass. There are children being sacrificed right now, hurt, maimed, raped, killed, while sadistic fucks circle around them and drink the blood from their bodies. My phone rests on the island, the screen lit up with the grotesque video playing on a loop. I haven't been able to stop watching it, or rather stop torturing myself. It's a small price to pay for the absolute horror this poor kid suffered from. My need to find where these rituals take place digs deeper, and it's driving me fucking insane. There's nothing I can do at this moment. I've attempted to trace the source of the video, but whoever is leaking them has done their homework. No hits came through, leaving me feeling utterly fucking powerless. I may be the best, but technology has limitations. I've learned how to bend and coerce information from almost nothing, but sometimes the tracks don't exist. The numbers just aren't there. My thoughts spiral downward, like the amber liquid sliding down my throat. I roll the rose harder through my fingers, faster. The sharp thorns slice through my flesh. The small amount of pain offers me a semblance of release. Sometimes witnessing the torture these kids go through makes me want to slice open my own skin and feel the pain alongside them. I want to ease their pain by creating my own. Maybe if I'm bleeding out on an altar next to them, they won't feel so fucking alone. But I don't. The urge is unfounded, and I recognize that. I recognize that I need to be strong, not weakened from blood loss and my mental state hanging on by a fraying thread. If I'm going to save these kids and destroy the skin trade, then I need to be at my best. They need me to be strong and capable because they can't be. The video restarts. I snarl, the cries of the boy renewed, filling the otherwise silent space around me. I've studied the video closely, just like I did the last one, searching for any type of clue. But I could detect nothing significant that would lead me to where exactly these rituals are taking place. Just 4 people, dressed in black robes, surrounding a stone slab. From what I can see, the entire area is rock, emulating a cave of sorts. But I'm not stupid enough to believe these men have found some cave in a mountain to sneak off into. This is a man-made cave, somewhere deep in the underbelly of Seattle. Some place that no random civilian could accidentally stumble upon. The whole reason I moved to Seattle 6 months ago was because of this dungeon. Originally, I was born and raised in California, but when the first video leaked, I was able to get a ping from the person's IP address that revealed Seattle as the original location. They haven't made the same mistake twice. This job gives me the freedom to live wherever I want, so it took only a day to settle on moving to Washington, where I could find the hellhole and destroy it. And times like these, where I'm at my lowest, I can't help but feel like it also changed my life in the best of ways. It brought me to Addie, after all. My head drops low between my shoulders, tension threading throughout my overused muscles. The black cloud surrounding me darkens, sucking me in deeper as the video loops around again. I curl the rose, crushing it tightly in my fist. My hand trembles from the pain and the force in which I'm squeezing the flower. I continue to crush it until it's nothing but crinkled petals and a crushed stem painted in the blood pouring from my hand. I grit my teeth, just barely holding on to the sorrowful wail that threatens to leave my lips. This is the destruction from what I do. Some days it's hard to live with. Some days I can barely stand from the weight of this cruel world resting on my shoulders. But I know if I don't, my life would be worthless, and those kids would have died for nothing.
Chapter 13. The Manipulator. I just got back the first round of edits, I say to Marietta through the phone. I'm starting on them tonight. Wonderful. Let me know if you need anything, she says. I'm walking down my dimly lit hallway towards my room when a flash of movement catches my eye. I freeze, my finger just pressing the red button when I see what looks like a woman disappearing through the attic door. A smile forms on my face before I can stop it. In all the years I've been in this house, I've only seen an apparition a few times. More often I've heard voices, footsteps, doors slam, and felt the freezing drafts, but rarely anything visual. But I know what I just saw. A woman in a white dress with tight blonde curls. I didn't see her face, but there's a distinct feeling that it was Gigi. Nearly dropping my phone, rushing after her, I run down the hall and swing the attic door open. It's pitch black leading up the stairs, and there's that nervous tickle in the back of my brain, but it doesn't stop me. I tap the flashlight on my phone and quickly make my way up the stairs. A heavy weight of foreboding presses down on my shoulders, but I trudge through it. Whoever that was, they wanted me to see something. I shiver from the feeling, both in fear and delight. The moment I step on the landing, it feels like breathing in water. The air up here is stifling and heavy, rife with negativity. It feels like something dark has consumed this space, and it doesn't like me up here. I can feel it staring at me from every angle. There's a single bulb up here somewhere with a long string attached to it. I swivel my flashlight around until I spot the string. It's swinging back and forth in an attic with no airflow and where the atmosphere feels denser than the woods outside of this manor. Rushing over, I grab the swinging string and yank on it, clicking on the light bulb. A whirring sound breaks through the silence, adding an extra note of spookiness. I squint my eyes, readying myself to see some scary monster hiding in the corner, but nothing is up here. At least, not that I can see. "Why did you lead me up here, Gigi?" I ask aloud, looking around the area and trying to figure out what I could possibly see up here. Of course, I don't receive an answer. It's never that simple. My eyes track over every dusty item cluttering the space. I have completely avoided coming up here and even opted out of renovating this space. I don't know what it was, but I felt like if I did, then something evil would be unleashed. I already have enough monsters haunting me. There's an old cracked mirror in the corner with a white sheet hanging partially over it. I make sure to avoid looking at it at all costs. I love to be scared, but I still don't have any desire to see a demon standing behind me in the mirror. Loads of dusty boxes and totes are scattered throughout the area. It's a fairly big room, so there's a lot of places to look. Stuffing my phone in my pocket, I take a deep breath, feeling like I just filled my lungs with toxic waste. And then I head over to one of the boxes and start digging. They're covered in cobwebs, and I almost consider going down to the bottom floor and finding a pair of gloves. But I don't want to stop when I'm already committed. I might convince myself not to come back up once I'm no longer sharing space with something malicious. Ignoring the spiders scattering from the boxes, I keep digging. All I find are old clothes, shoes, trinkets, and knickknacks. Nothing of importance, but maybe a few of these things could be valuable. A loud bang sounds from behind me, and this time I scream loudly. The echo of my scream rings out as I whip around and face whatever made the noise. Nothing's there but a dangling wooden board hanging on by a single nail. The entirety of the attic is made up of wooden boards, most of them rotted and chewed up by mice. Where the wooden board once was is a bottomless black hole. You want me to stick my hand in there, don't you? I say dryly, glancing around to see if I spot another hint of Gigi. Still not looking in that fucking mirror, though. Hand over my pounding heart, I carefully walk over to the still swinging wood. Grabbing my phone and turning on the flashlight once more, I shine the light inside the hole. It's a platform, and deep in the hole looks like 2 pieces of crinkled paper. I groan aloud. Fuck, you're really going to make me stick my hand in there? Bugs don't usually creep me out. There's not a lot of things in this world that genuinely scare me to my core, but that doesn't mean I enjoy sticking my hand in a bug-infested hole. Furthermore, I wouldn't be surprised if whatever negative energy resides up here decided to fuck with me and grab my hand. I can admit I'd probably pee a little then. Sighing, I plunge my hand in, snatch the papers, and rip my hand out, all in under a second. I almost open my mouth and gloat, but decide it's better not to piss anything off when we're sharing the same house. I turn, run over to the string, click off the light, and dash down the stairs like the girl from The Ring is chasing after me. Slamming the attic door shut, I take in a deep, cleansing breath of air. It's so much lighter down here, it feels like the entire house collapsed on me and I just crawled out from beneath it. I smooth out the papers, squinting my eyes to make out the neat scrawl on the first one. I did what I was told to do, because if I didn't, I know I'd be next. So this is my confession. I helped him cover up her murder. I'm so sorry. My heart quickens as I read the note over and over. Whoever wrote this, they're speaking of Gigi's murder. They must be. Who helped him cover up the murder? Who is him? Switching to the other note, it takes only a second to realize it's the page ripped out of her diary. I smile triumphantly, but the smile quickly drops as I read the messy words. I have to be quick. He said he's on his way, and I'm terrified. If I run, he'll catch me, so I'm writing this note down in hopes someone will find it. If something happens to me, John, The note ends there, not even finishing the last word. My mouth drops open in shock as I stare down at it in utter disbelief. Are you fucking kidding me, Gigi? You leave it off there? That's what you wanted to show me? A note where you're about to say who it is, but don't? I finish my rant on a loud shout, stomping my foot and flaring my arms wide. Of course she doesn't answer me. Growling dramatically, I stomp my way into the bedroom and slam the door shut. I'm mad at her now. She better not come in here, or I'm kicking her right back out. He's outside again, watching me, a bright red cherry blaring in the moonlight. I stare back at him. The familiar tendrils of fear have me tightly in their grip, but also the bricks are settled in my stomach, sinking lower. I chew my lip, contemplating if I should confront him again or not. Picking up my phone and reporting him would be the logical thing to do, but the police won't be able to do anything. By the time they get here, he'll be gone again. And what good will a police report do when they come up missing like last time? With his apparent breaking and entering skills, not to mention hacking skills, he's obviously tampering with shit. But maybe that doesn't matter. Sheriff Walters knows I have a stalker, despite him saying they had no record of it. Maybe that's all the more reason to call. He's probably planning on murdering me right now, just like Gigi's stalker murdered her. I've read over that note and combed through her diaries for the past 3 nights, but I haven't seen any evidence of her stalker being the murderer yet. But I'm sure I'm right. Eyeing him, I pick up my phone, stand directly in front of the window, and put the phone to my ear. I haven't even dialed the police yet. I just want to see what he'll do. Because evidently there's something wrong with me. I'm playing with fire. The more I provoke him, the more likely he is to come after me. But I can't stop myself. I can't stop the sharp thrill that I get every time I push back. It's as addicting as it is stupid. I can't see his face under the deep hood, but I know he's smiling at me. Knowing that doesn't give me the reaction it should. I should be repulsed. I should be scared. I suppose I am scared, but what I'm really feeling is the urge to smile back. My phone chimes in my ear. Brow plunging, I hesitantly pull the phone away from my ear and look at the incoming message.
Unknown. Am I supposed to believe that you're on the phone with the police? I think my little mouse is a liar.
Oh, no, he didn't. I angrily type back my message. Me. Want to find out?
Unknown. Yeah, I do, actually. I'd love to punish you later for it, too.
My thumbs freeze over the letters. The last punishment was gruesome and sickening. Me. What? You gonna send me toes next?
Unknown. Depends. Are you still pretending to fuck other guys? Or would you rather yell at the ghosts in your house again?
My head snaps up and I stare into the depths of his hood. His phone is perched in his hand, waiting for my response. The lighting from his phone is set to low, the dim glow casting enough light to show me his wickedly sharp jawline and a portion of his smirking lips. I lift my hand and flip him the bird. Fuck you, asshole. In response, his thumb starts moving, his smile growing wider.
Unknown. I plan to.
I growl at his audacity. Like hell he'll fuck me. Me. You come near me, I will stab you. I'm calling the police if you don't leave right now.
Unknown. So do it, little mouse.
I can't tell if he's telling me to stab him or call. I'd be happy to do both. I don't like his insinuation that I'm the mouse and he's the cat. That would mean he's hunting me. The last thing I want to be is hunted. Fuck. I hesitate. I need to call the police. I have to, but I can't convince my fingers to move. He's challenging me, and I hate that I'm scared to find out what he's going to do if I do. I hate that I want to. Heart pounding, I dial the numbers. He watches me closely as I press the call button and bring the phone to my ear. 911, what's your emergency? I breathe in deep. There's a man that's been stalking me. He broke into my house a week ago, and now he's standing outside watching me. He's standing outside right now? The operator asks. I hear typing in the background, accompanied by the smack of her gum. Yes, I whisper. Ma'am, is he doing anything? Does he have any weapons on him? She asks. Not that I know of. Can you send someone out? More typing. What's your address, ma'am? I recite the address to her. She asks a few more pointless questions and informs me a cruiser is about 5 minutes out. She asks me to stay on the phone, but I don't. I click the phone off. My little shadow isn't going to stick around long enough for the police to show up and catch him. He'll disappear off into the woods he came out of and never be found. I know this. I can't see his eyes, but I meet his gaze anyway. With one last smile, he types out a quick message. My phone buzzes, but I don't look right away. I'm too scared to. And without a concern in the fucking world, he slowly turns and walks away. The darkness reaches out and grabs a hold of him, swallowing him into its depths until he's vanished completely. When the cruiser shows up, I already want him to leave. For reasons I can't quite explain, I regret calling the police. I just want him to leave. The cop is an overweight man with short blonde hair and a ruddy face. He looks like he wants to be anywhere but here. I feel the same exact way.
What's going on here, ma'am?
He asks, huffing and puffing as he makes his way up the front porch. A man was outside my window, I say shortly.
Oh, okay.
He says, drawing out the O.
Has this happened before?
I tell him that I've made several police reports that came up missing, but that this man has been coming around and breaking into my house for the past couple of months. After telling him of the previous experiences, he pulls out his pad and starts writing out the report.
You said your name was Adeline Riley, correct?
Yes. He pauses from writing and looks at me as if he's seeing a different person.
Aren't you the one that had Archibald Talavera go missing off your porch?
He asks, looking me up and down, pausing on my chest for a second too long, as if my tits are going to give him the answer. Yes, I bite out, growing impatient. He hums in response and goes back to writing his report.
You think it was the same guy?
It'd be pretty fucked if it wasn't, I mutter. When the cop just side-eyes me, I sigh. Yes, I do. He stops writing after that and asks me a few more customary questions. Do you have a description? Do you know who he might be? And so on. I give him all the information I have except what's most important. I don't tell him about the text messages. I don't know why, but they feel private, which is fucking stupid. Makes no sense, but I can't bring myself to say anything. The police officer leaves with absolutely no helpful information. But he still leaves with a police report, and that's what's important. It's not until after I take a hot shower and settle into my bed that I read his message.
Unknown. The more you disobey me, the harder your punishment.
I'm going to find this little dick prick, Daya declares angrily, practically slamming the keys through her laptop as she types God knows what. I just finished telling her the details of last night. I take a sip of my drink. It's not enough, so I take another, and then end up chugging the whole thing. We're both doing our respective work, but she didn't want to leave me alone in the house now that my shadow is starting to interact more. Dick and prick are the same thing, I say. She looks up, her face reflecting my exact thoughts since last night. What is wrong with you? I shrug a shoulder. I'm just saying, you just called him a little dick. She rolls her eyes, ignores me, and starts typing on her laptop again. Probably hacking into something. Though I can't imagine what she could possibly be hacking into. Better not be my phone. I have nudes on there. My face pales. Oh God, what if he hacks into it and finds them? I scramble to pick up my phone, delete every single racy picture, and then delete them a second time from the trash folder. Some of my anxiety eases, but not all of it. He could have already hacked into it for all I know. I'm going to be obsessing over this for the rest of my life now. Noticing my internal crisis, Daya focuses on me, her brow pinched with concern. You okay, girl? I clear my throat. How likely is it that he can hack into my phone and find my nudes? Her lip twitches, and I'm 2 seconds away from smacking it off her face. Baby girl, that man has probably watched you get naked in your room 1,000 times now. My eyes widen further, having not considered that yet either. Oh my God. Why do you ask? Daya asks, her voice full of suspicion. I roll my lips together, debating. At this point, the only thing holding me back from telling Daya about the texts is her impending anger. Finally, building up the courage, I rush out. Would you be able to trace an unknown number? Her eyes slant. Did he text you from one? Shame creeps in. I should have told her this sooner, but I had a weird protective need to keep the text to myself, just like with the police officer. Now I realize how stupid that is when Daya is one of the best hackers in the world, or so she says, at least. I nod sheepishly and hand her the phone, the thread already pulled up. She snatches it from my hand, shooting me a heated glare, and reads through them. Her eyes draw back to my own, fire licking at her pupils. You're just now showing me these? I groan. I know, I'm a stupid bitch. I don't know, Daya. I honestly don't. Can you trace them? I don't forgive you yet. But let me see. I don't worry about her anger. Daya could get bit by a snake and immediately forgive it. She's just playing hard to get right now. What looks like frustration settles over her face. Her lips curve down, and as the seconds pass by, her frown deepens. She leans closer to the screen, still typing a mile a second. After a few minutes, she slaps her palms on the granite and leans back, obvious anger now on her face. Untraceable, is all she says. My anxiety resurfaces. So, this man can hack into my security cameras, override them, and can clearly text me from an untraceable number. Which means he probably hacked my phone and got my nudes. She looks up at me, and I already know my answer. It's possible, she says, though her tone conveys that it's probable. I drop my head to my laptop, surely pressing a bunch of keys, but I don't care right now. A creepy-ass dude potentially has my nudes. Worse, he probably has video footage of me naked. I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world to happen. My body is fabulous. But I'll definitely be mortified if they get leaked. What if he uses them as blackmail? Never thought I'd think this, but hopefully he's too obsessed with me to leak them. He's already proven to be highly possessive. If another man can't even touch my thigh without getting his hands cut off, then surely he wouldn't show the world my naked body. Did you delete them? I nod, my forehead grating against the keys. I cringe at the noise. If I don't stop, my big-ass head will ruin my laptop. I lift my head, pick up Daya's glass of vodka and pineapple juice and start chugging. She doesn't complain. In fact, she slides over the entire bottle of vodka. Don't obsess over it. If he hasn't said anything about them yet, then there's a good chance he doesn't have them. Her words do little to make me feel better, but I appreciate the sentiment anyway. Who did you even send your nudes to? She asks, snatching the bottle of vodka from my hand after I take a hefty swig. I haven't sent a nude since I was 20. I take nudes because I like my body and want to stare at it all day. Daya laughs. I fucking love you. Sadly, she might not be the only one. Her phone lights up. Instinctively, my eyes flash towards the screen, but it's her snatching it up like the phone caught fire is what draws my attention to it. I quirk a brow, watching her glance nervously at me. You don't forgive me for keeping secrets, but yet you're doing the same thing. I state dryly. She deflates, now looking like a dog caught with the toilet paper in its mouth. I didn't want to worry you, she mumbles. About what? I bark, holding my hand out expectantly for the phone. She groans, tucking it further into her chest. Luke. He's been texting me. She starts. My eyes widen, alarm stark in my eyes. Texting you about what? Just to hook up again? Slowly, she shakes her head. He's been bugging me about you and what happened that night with Arch. I told him what you told the police, that someone pounded on the door and he went missing after that. I guess he's trying to figure out who it could have been. Fuck, I curse, dropping my head in my hands. Apparently, Max is going on a rampage, she admits on a sigh. Not only did his best friend die, but the entire family. They haven't said it, but I'm not sure they believe it was the Talavera's rivals that killed the family. I told Luke you have nothing to do with it, and I think he bought it. Words are left unsaid, so I say them for her. For now. Her lips tighten in response, and I realize that my shadow has just made me some dangerous enemies. January 14th, 1945. The cold, dreary weather is putting me in a mood that rivals the ice clinging to my windows. Frank even noticed my sour state when he stopped by today. He tried to cheer me up with bad jokes. I'll admit, I laughed at one or two, but I can't seem to muster much more than that. Ronaldo and I argued yesterday. He said he can't stand that I'm still with John. He's growing incredibly jealous. And I can't say I entirely blame him. Not when the thought of him with another woman nearly makes me blind with rage. But Ronaldo's life is still a mystery to me. He said that he refuses to involve me in his dangerous lifestyle, and I'm not even sure what that means. How could I give up stability for my daughter for a man whose life is still mysterious and dangerous? I'm at a loss. Chapter 14. The Manipulator. Daya put some type of block on my phone to prevent further hacking. While my brain kept circling back to the nudes, Daya's concern was the guy having access to my phone in general. He'd be able to see all my messages, have access to my bank information, track my phone, and find me wherever I go. It seems every day my appreciation for Daya grows. She gave me a sense of safety I didn't realize I was missing. I'm going to have to propose to her soon, or something. Still, I will never take another nude in my entire life, but that's a small price to pay in the grand scheme. I've decided to remove the camera from my room to allow me at least some semblance of comfort. I'll just have to hold off on walking around the house naked until something is done about this creep. Now, if only Arch's best friends weren't up my asshole, then maybe I'd get an extra hour or two of sleep at night. The rest of the day was spent in silence, both of us lost in our work. While Daya did whatever she does, I pulled out every picture in this house and picked through them. I've no idea what I'm actually looking for. Maybe Gigi with another man besides my grandfather. After an hour of looking, I realized that she tended to write the names of the people captured in the photo and the year on the back of each picture. I searched for the name Ronaldo, but never found it. Halloween is coming up. We're going to haunted houses this year, right? Daya asks. She's standing at my front door, about to head home for the night. I give her a droll look. Halloween is my entire life, Daya. Of course we're going to fucking haunted houses. For as long as I can remember, Halloween fascinated me. The creatures and creepy faces, the jump scares and impending dread that something horrific is going to happen. I've had an unhealthy obsession with it all. Mom sent me to therapy specifically for my fascination with gory horror movies. She thought I was a psychopath, and really I'd just get off on being scared. I think it's a step up from being a psycho, but the therapist disagreed. Too often I'd hear my mother telling my father that I was a freak, that something was wrong with me. No one in their right mind likes being scared. But I do. I love it, which is why having a stalker is the worst thing for someone like me. I'm susceptible to enjoying the fear a bit too much. My love for horror is going to get me killed one day. It's like I was meant to be hunted. Little Mouse. That name is going to haunt me. I'm not prey. I'm not. Satan's Affair is coming to town again, and they have new haunted houses. Daya reminds, bringing me back to the present. Satan's Affair is a traveling fair that comes to town every year, staying for 2 nights before moving on to the next town. They set up loads of haunted houses and thrill rides. Daya and I go every year religiously. After the first few years, the haunted houses became predictable. Since then, they change them every year, and now the traveling fair has some of the best haunted houses in the country. You already know I'll be the first one in line. Yeah, we know, freak, she teases. Despite the fact that it used to be my mother's favorite slur, I don't let it bother me anymore. Plenty of men have called me the same, followed up by desperate begging to fuck me again. Being a freak took on a whole new meaning a long time ago. I tend to enjoy the name now. Daya leaves once we confirm plans for the fair night. It's not for another few weeks, but the event has garnered a loyal fan base and sells out every year. It got to the point where so many people would come they had to limit the number allowed in. They treat it like a concert to avoid lines forming outside the fairgrounds. Once tickets sell out, you won't be able to enter. Luckily, I have a computer genius on my side, and she gets tickets for us before they even go live. The moment the door clicks shut behind Daya, my phone buzzes. Thinking it's Daya texting me that she forgot something, I slide my phone out and open the message without registering who it is. The second I see the text, my heart drops.
Unknown. Ready for your punishment, little mouse?
I look up and storm over to the window. He's not standing outside. Daya is just now pulling out of the driveway and speeding off, her taillights disappearing through the trees. I turn around, nervous he found another way inside my home, or that he's already in the house with me and has been the entire time. Me. Why are you doing this? His text doesn't come through right away. I wait with bated breath, and when I realize I'm glaring at my phone, I nearly throw it across the room. He's probably making me wait on purpose. Finally, my phone buzzes. I force myself to wait a minute before opening it, just to spite him.
Unknown. You haunt me. It's only fair I return the sentiment.
I swallow, nervous energy coursing through me as I decide how to respond.
Unknown. You're so beautiful when you're scared.
I drop the phone. Embarrassed and praying he didn't see my blunder, I look out the window again. Still not there. Where the fuck is he? As if reading my thoughts, another text comes in.
Unknown. I'm so close, I can smell you.
My hands tremble as I read his text over and over again. The words begin to blur as panic sets in. He's here in my house somewhere. I run over to the kitchen, grab my handy-dandy knife, and storm back into the living room. He hasn't come out yet, but I imagine he will. Heart racing and hands shaking, I perch myself on the edge of the rocking chair, sealing my fate. Me. Quit being a pussy and come out then. The second the message shoots off, I regret it. I want to snatch it back. Footsteps sound from above me. I swallow and look up as if I'll be able to see through the ceiling and spot him. The footsteps travel further away from me, towards my room. My phone buzzes.
Unknown. Come find me.
At this exact moment, I'm questioning my sanity. Without thought, my ass lifts off the seat and I take a single step towards the staircase. My instincts are to run towards the danger, not away. God, me again, we really need to talk about your life decisions when you made me. I'm not even sure I believe in her, but if she is real, then someone needs to smack her hand for making me the way that I am. Thankfully, common sense kicks in, and I stop myself from going up and finding a crazed man in my house. The smart thing would be to call the police. There's no way he'd be able to get out without being seen. The only way out of this house is down the steps. He can't hide forever. At this point, I don't even care if the officer can't catch him. As long as someone else has proof that they saw him too, that'll be enough for them to take me seriously. Another buzz.
Unknown. Too scared, little mouse?
As if challenging me, a door slams shut. I startle from the noise, my heart jumping up into my throat. Even if I wanted to scream, I wouldn't have been able to make a sound. My chest pumps erratically as the fear grows more potent. Me. I'm calling the police. I can feel the judgment through the walls. Here I am calling him a pussy and challenging him to come out. Then when the tables turn, I threaten to call the police. Because that's the smart thing to do, dumbass. Then why the fuck do I feel so stupid for saying it? How is that possible?
Unknown. Do you remember what I said last time?
How could I forget? The more I disobey him, the harder the punishment. I bite my lip, seriously contemplating going upstairs and finding him. I release a shaky breath. I have a choice to make, and I already know I'm going to make the wrong one. I resign myself and start typing. Me. Here I come, asshole. I keep my phone clutched in one hand and the knife in the other. No way am I going to be an idiot again and drop the knife. It's staying firmly planted in my grip, just like it'll be firmly planted in this dude's face once I find him. I make my way up the steps quietly, though I'm not sure it really matters if he hears me coming or not. I have a dreadful feeling that even though I'm coming to find him, he's going to find me first. That familiar heady feeling settles in my gut. It churns like alcohol in an empty stomach. Sweat breaks across my forehead and my mouth feels like I swallowed sand. I'm fucking terrified. A row of sconces on each side of the hallway provides just enough light to see that no one is there. I click the flashlight on my phone and start in the first room. I slowly make my way into each room, checking immediately to my left and right before entering any further. I check behind the doors and in every corner of the room. The closet is the worst part, opening the door and knowing that I may come face to face with a man that wants to punish me. Tears gather in my eyes when I discover the first closet empty. My poor heart is suffering from extreme palpitations right now. I don't think this amount of fear in my bloodstream is healthy. Still, I forge on, finding the following 2 rooms completely empty as well. There are only 2 more rooms and a bathroom left in this hallway, and lastly, a door at the very end of the hall that leads to the attic. If he's up there, he can stay there. There's no way I'm going up in the fucking attic to find him. I will gladly admit defeat. Sucking in a deep breath, I face my bedroom. Aside from the attic, it's the only room left in this hallway with a closed door. What is he feeling right now? Standing on the other side, waiting for me to enter. Our roles are reversed, this time with me lingering outside the door. Still, I'm the one left terrified while he calmly awaits me. Anticipating all the things he's going to say to me, do to me. How he's going to hurt me, punish me. Steeling my spine, I turn the knob and push open the door. When it swings open, a scream climbs up my throat. He didn't even try to hide. My balcony doors are wide open, the moonlight spilling in. And there a dark figure shrouded in white light is my shadow, staring at me with a wicked smile on his face and a blade in his hand. March 13th, 1945. Ronaldo took me out on a mini vacation. I told John that I was having a girls' weekend with a friend from Sarah's school. Considering I've gone out on weekends before, he didn't question me. I feel so guilty, but not enough to come home. I'm so happy with Ronaldo, so enthralled. This weekend has been absolutely magical. I just wish Sarah were here to enjoy it with us. But that's awful of me, isn't it? I love John, and I would never want Sarah to not have him. He's wonderful to her, and my Sarah would be lost without him. I would never take her away from him. But sometimes I wish she had Ronaldo, too. Chapter 15. The Manipulator. I'm completely immobilized beneath his stare. I can only imagine the look on my face when I see him standing there, waiting for me. The sconces behind my bed are lit, offering dim lighting, enough for me to get a clear view of him. He's clad in all black. Leather boots, jeans that wrap tightly around broad thighs, and a matching hoodie that looks a size too small with the way he fills it out. Still, I can't see much of his face. That damn hood. My tongue darts out, wetting my dry lips. "Take off your hood," I say, a slight tremor in my voice. He doesn't, nor does he speak. Anger begins to build beneath the fear. "You wanted me to come find you, kitty cat." "I did. So take off your fucking hood and show me your face," I demand, my voice rising alongside my anger. A sinful smirk tugs at his lips when he hears his new nickname. He thinks this is a game of cat and mouse. If he wants to debase me with a nickname, it's only fair I return the favor. Slowly, he reaches up and slides the hood off his head, the knife glinting as if to mock me. I have my own knife, too. Any triumph I felt over my little jab dissipates like butter in a hot skillet, and all the fear I've been feeling triples. His face is unlike anything I've seen. But that's the thing, I have seen him before. The mismatched eyes give him away. In the bookstore, I only saw portions of his face. At the time, he seemed mildly attractive, but now that I see those pieces as a whole, he's devastating. His right eye darker than the midnight sky, and the other the exact opposite. His left eye is so bleached of color it's nearly white, the scar starting from the middle of his forehead, slashing straight down through his white eye and to the middle of his cheek, is something I haven't been able to forget since I saw him in the bookstore. Despite the ugly scar, it only serves to heighten his utter beauty. A jawline so sharp he could cut diamonds with it. A straight, aristocratic nose, full lips, and short black hair just long enough to run your hands through. This is wrong. So wrong. I shouldn't be attracted to a stalker. His presence is so overwhelming. It feels as if he's 10 feet tall, with a shadow crawling up the ceiling, slithering toward me. This room feels tiny with him in it. I feel tiny with him in it. He takes a step toward me, a hint of that smirk remaining on his face, just the slightest curl in his lips. I take a step back. Finally, my instincts aren't completely jacked sideways, and I make my first smart move of the night.
"Cat got your tongue, little mouse?"
Briefly, I close my eyes. His voice washes over me, leaving goosebumps in its wake. The sound is as deep as his black eye. I swallow again, nearly choking on the very muscle. It feels like my tongue has swollen to double its size. "What do you want from me?" I choke out. He prowls toward me. My spine tightens, and despite the gallons of fear pumping through my heart valves, I stay still. When he gets close enough, I'll stab him. Aim for the throat, Addie. My eyes lock with his, and all thought escapes me. He presses the entirety of his body against mine. No shame, no shyness. No, let me buy you a drink first before I press my man-pecs into you. The boldness of it has me nearly biting my tongue in surprise. It takes several seconds for my body to unlock. Before I can think about what I'm doing, I swing my knife towards him but meet resistance when I attempt to lift it. I look down in confusion just to see his bare hand wrapped around the blade. Blood pools in his hand, a small trail heading straight towards my own. I gasp, my eyes widening and snapping back to his. Not a single iota of pain shines in his eyes. Not even a glimmer. He jerks on the blade once, ripping it from my weak hold, blindly tossing it behind him. The knife clatters loudly against something before toppling to the floor, the sound reverberating in the otherwise quiet room. Nothing but my heavy panting breaks the static of silence surrounding us. His presence is a vortex, steadily depleting the oxygen from the room, and even from my brain, because I cannot think straight with his body so close to mine. With the fear coiled tightly around me, the force of it turning my body to stone. I'm useless, powerless. The inability to fight rages in my head. My survival instincts tell me to just move, yet my body refuses to. And then his bloody hand is wrapping around the back of my neck and bringing my body flush with his once more. I cringe at the feel of his life's essence dripping from his hand. The blood feels like menacing fingers crawling down my spine, staining my skin as if to mark me. To my horror, he lifts his other hand, the one still gripping a much more wicked-looking knife than mine, and brings the tip of the blade to the underside of my chin. He applies enough pressure to force my chin up further, the metal biting into my skin. The slightest curl to his lips stalls the breath in my lungs. The act speaks of something daunting, something condemning.
You're even more beautiful up close,
he murmurs, his sinful eyes devouring my face. I scowl and plant my hands on his chest, ignoring the pure steel beneath his flesh, and attempt to push him away. But he resists the force, his lip curling into a snarl. Tears rim my lids as frustration grows. Please, just leave. I don't want you here. I don't want you. Just leave me alone. I beg. It feels like reaching a hand inside my chest, yanking out my pride and throwing it onto the floor. But I don't give a fuck about my pride in this moment. I just want this man to fucking leave. He presses in closer.
Are you going to cry, Addie?
He taunts. My hands are still pressed firmly against his chest. His heart is racing beneath my palms, giving me pause. If I didn't know any better, I'd think he's not as unaffected as he's appearing to be. No, I lie. I will absolutely have no problems crying my eyes out after he leaves, but I refuse to show him any more weakness. He flashes me a feral, toothy smile, pulling the blade from my chin and dropping his hand from behind my neck. The second he steps away, I feel a mixture of coldness and relief. But then he's coming right back. The intensity in his eyes holds me in place as he walks to stand beside me, his chest brushing against my arm. He smells like leather and smoke. It's intoxicating. He's intoxicating. Fear has a taste. Acidic, burnt metal. It numbs my tongue. Not just my tongue, but my entire being. I'm so scared, but yet so consumed by him. I keep my head straight, but don't let him out of my line of sight. He leans into me, pressing his weight against me. I combat his strength. Rather than being pushed away from him, I'm being absorbed by him. Hot breath warms my skin as his lips trace the outer edge of my ear. Another shiver racks my spine.
I want to devour you,
he whispers. My lip trembles. I suck the traitorous lip between my teeth. If only it stops showing my weakness. When I risk a glance at him, his eyes have zeroed in on my lips. Are you here to kill me? I ask lowly, trying my best to mask the tremors racking through my body. I'm failing. Slowly, he shakes his head.
Why would I do that?
I'm not sure how to answer that. He continues.
I wouldn't kill you, little mouse. I want to keep you.
What if I don't want you to? He smiles.
You will.
I open my mouth, ready to tell him about himself and his mama, but the words die on my tongue when he reaches up a hand and swipes his thumb roughly across my bottom lip. He growls in delight.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to allow you the opportunity to run and hide. If I find you, then I will deliver your punishment. If I don't, you go unpunished, and I will leave.
I pinch my eyes shut, a small single strand of hope threading throughout the hysteria. I know this house like the back of my hand. I know where the good hiding spots are. There are 2 bedrooms down there in the hallway on the bottom floor. The first bedroom has a tiny little nook in the back of the closet, just barely able to fit my body in, but I used to hide there all the time when Nana and I would play hide and seek. Fine, I whisper. How long will you search for me before I win? He smiles.
I'll give you 5 minutes before your ass is bent over my knee.
I huff, jerking my face away from his hand. He lets me go, but the smile on his face grows.
Your time starts now, Adeline. Better run.
I don't hesitate any longer. Turning, I bolt out of the room, slamming the door shut behind me. I don't miss the amusement on his face when he watches me do so, but I don't give myself time to care. I head straight for the stairs, keeping my steps light as my little legs carry me down the steps at an alarming speed. Halfway down, I nearly pitch forward and faceplant, barely catching myself on the railing and keeping the loud squeak from escaping. I feel like throwing up, the adrenaline and fear intense and biting at my nerves. Making a left turn, I aim for the hallway and slip into the first bedroom just as I hear heavy footsteps from above. My heart races impossibly faster, and my hands tremble fiercely as I slide open the closet door. The metal rattles from my sloppiness, a slight, insignificant sound that feels like thunder rolling throughout the bones of the house. Heaving in a deep breath, I force my body to slow as I glide the closet door closed and hurry into the nook. I'm panicking. My chest is tight and I have the strangest urge to cough. Could be because my throat is dry and steadily closing. I want to claw at my neck, force the muscle to open back up, and let in the oxygen I so desperately need. It's all in your head. Breathe, Addie, breathe. He's not going to find you in here. Nana never could. His footsteps have disappeared from above me, meaning that he's made his way downstairs, most likely. I bite my lip hard, tangy copper filling my mouth, and still I keep biting down. Shuffling and distinct noises filter through, and as the minutes pass, my breathing begins to slow. But then I hear the door slowly creak open, and my breathing stutters. I clamp my hand over my mouth, refusing to make a sound, even if it literally kills me. The closet door slides open, and his scent fills the tiny area. Leather, a hint of smoke, and something else. Something that would ordinarily make my eyes roll if it wasn't so goddamn suffocating.
You can come out now, baby.
He breathes, the sound of his voice gravelly and deep. Oh no. No. I don't move, hoping that he's just guessing.
I can smell you,
he says. And if that's not the creepiest thing I've ever fucking heard, I don't know what is. Risking a peek around the corner, I see him standing at the entrance of the closet. He's not looking in my direction. His head is down, staring off at a random spot on the ground.
You have 10 seconds before I come drag you out.
He takes a step back, and I decide to just go for it. I dart out, slipping past him and heading towards the door. He lets loose a deep, cruel laugh. It's a sound I'll hear in my nightmares for the rest of my existence. But I don't stop. I run down the hallway and head for the front door, gasping when I find it locked.
You unlock that door and there will be consequences,
he warns. I startle at his proximity. There's not enough time to unlock the deadbolt, knob, and chain. He's too close. Sunroom. It has a back door that leads outside. I turn, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my shadow round the corner of the entranceway to the hallway I came from. I bolt through the living room, then the kitchen, and towards the door that leads into the backside of the hallway. Praying that he didn't stay in the hallway, I fling open the door to find it empty, at least within 5 feet of me. I can't see past the darkness beyond that. Heading straight for the sunroom, I barrel through the door and find him already there, leaning against the door that I need to escape out of. I skid on my feet, halting my momentum before I crash right into his waiting arms. I back up, chest heaving and mind racing. He tisks.
You're very predictable, little mouse. We're going to have to work on that.
I just stand there, frozen in place as I process the fact that I won't be able to get out of this house. He's incredibly fast, but the scariest part is that I didn't hear a single fucking footstep from him. I sounded like an elephant, and he was quieter than a mouse. "You're not touching me," I hiss, my voice wobbly and rife with unshed tears.
A deal is a deal, little mouse.
He looks up at the night sky.
It is beautiful in here. I think it's only fitting that the punishment occurs here, don't you think? It feels like we've come full circle.
Growling, I finally force my body into action and run right back down the hallway towards the stairs. Maybe I can find a spot to hide again. Somewhere he won't find me this time. My mind turns over every possibility as I swing myself around the banister and charge up the steps. A whisper of wind brushes against the back of my thighs, and when I glance behind me, I see him right on my heels. I let loose another scream, quickening my steps. I make it up the stairs and barrel down the hallway, my desperation and pure panic clouding my head. I can't think. I can only act. I'm halfway down the hallway before a steel arm bands around my waist and lifts me up. "No!" I scream, kicking at air as I fight his hold.
Oh, yes, baby.
He growls, swinging our bodies towards the wall. I grunt from the impact, leaning my back against the wall and using it as leverage to kick against the bastard of a man. "Let me go, you fucking creepy-ass fuck!"
Keep talking and you'll just make it worse.
I screech, out of breath and growing weaker as he pins my flailing body against the wall.
We had a deal, did we not?
A tear spills over my lid, and then another and another until I'm on the verge of sobbing.
Don't cry, little mouse.
He coos.
It's going to get so much worse.
His breath skates over my cheek as he presses himself deeper into my body. He's so much bigger, his body enveloping me until all I can see, feel, and smell is him. Warmth, leather, that unique scent that belongs to only him, and his black-clad body surrounding me.
I like you scared.
He whispers, sending shivers down my spine.
I like you begging and pleading, crying out for God to save you.
I feel the touch of his hand on my face, and I flinch away. His fingers lightly trace over my cheekbone to my hair, tucking the loose strands behind my ear.
I like you trembling beneath my touch uncontrollably.
"You're sick," I snap, doing just that. I'm shaking from head to toe, and I can't seem to stop it.
You think you're only going to beg because you're fighting for your life, but that's where you're wrong. The only way I'll be sending you to heaven is with my cock.
He grunts out a deep laugh.
And definitely my tongue and fingers, too.
"That will never happen," I hiss, glaring at him with all my might. Or at least, I think I am. His eyes are shadowed by the dim light radiating from the sconces. It feels almost like being far-sighted. Your face is so close to something, but clarity evades you. The shadows are a part of him. He carries them with him.
It's time to punish you, and I've thought of the many ways I could do this,
he says, ignoring my jab. It only infuriates me more that he finds my lack of consent is so inconsequential. So worthless.
I'll be nice this time.
I open my mouth, but he cuts me off with a deep growl of warning.
But only if you are too, Adeline.
The click of my teeth snapping together is audible, pulling another grunt of amusement from him. My pride takes a hit, and I want to knee him in the balls for it. But I couldn't lift my leg an inch if I tried. "What are you going to do?" I choke out. the stutter of my words in sync with the beat of my heart. His hot breath fans across my cheek, and I feel the glide of his lips alongside my jaw. I swallow, but I nearly choke from how dry my throat has become. Those lips descend to the column of my neck, skittering along until he pauses on the spot right below my ear.
I'm going to claim you,
he says, right before his teeth clamp down. My back arches involuntarily, repulsion and pleasure marrying in my nerves, sending misfires to my brain. All coherent thoughts escape from my mind as a result, leaving me with nothing but basic instinct. He groans, his teeth piercing as his tongue laps at my flesh. My mouth opens, a silent scream suctioned away just as his mouth does the same, drawing in deep, like he's drinking the essence from my body. And then he's pulling back, dragging his teeth along my skin as he lets go, leaving the spot smarting with pain. My hands press into his chest for stability, or to push him away. I'm not sure. Though my question is quickly answered when instinct coerces my hands to curl, gripping his hoodie tight and anchoring myself to him as if he's my lifeline, when really, he's the one who's killing me. Severe shivers rack my body when he licks a wet trail down to the juncture of my neck. He pauses, and it feels like my body is hanging over a pointed knife. I hold my breath, the anticipation rattling my bones. And then he's biting down again, pulling an animalistic sound from the depths of my chest. He does this over and over, leaving a trail of bruises down my neck and across my shoulder. I'm breathless by the time he pulls away.
Good girl,
He breathes, his own voice airy. Somehow that makes me feel worse. I want him to hate it as much as I should have. I can't explain why I do what I do next. I'll ask God later, but in that moment, I'm so overcome with a tsunami of emotions that I reach up and bite his cheek. Hard. Blood spurts into my mouth, but I don't care. I just bite harder. Maybe I want to hurt him back. Give him a taste of his own medicine. Make him feel whatever I feel. Regardless of the reason, he doesn't take kindly to it. His hand wraps around my throat, pushing me back while he rips his face away. My head thumps against the wall, a dull throb radiating from the spot. He's squeezing tightly, but I don't care. I feel justified. If he kills me here and now, at least I can say I left one last mark on him. He growls low, a sound of frustration and something else that I can't put a name to. I stare up at him, blood coating my tongue and trailing down my chin. It's a small amount. I didn't get the chance to rip his face to shreds like I wanted, but the small dots of blood on his face leave me feeling invigorated all the same.
I'm beginning to think you like to be punished, which means I'm just going to have to do better.
Before I can react, he's lifting me up and tossing me over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. Fucker! I snap, banging my fists against his back. I am not a potato. A sharp slap to my ass is his only response. He carries me down the steps, takes a left turn into the hallway and down towards the sunroom. The entire time I fight, kicking and punching, but he acts like a butterfly is attacking him. As if he hears my frustrations, he says,
Baby, the wind can do more damage than what you're doing.
Want to see my teeth again, asshole? I'll keep making your face uglier.
Keep telling yourself that, but we both know my scars make you wet.
He retorts, amusement coloring his words. I growl, frustrated by how fucking unruffled he is, and because he's not entirely wrong. No, dumbass, he is wrong. More curses fled out of my mouth, but they're cut short when he drags my body down his front until my legs are wrapped around his waist, and he's cradling me to his chest. Oh, fuck this. I lift my hands to scratch his face, maybe do a little eye gouging, but instead I just squeal. He swoops me backward, my stomach bottoming out as he sets me on the ground, flat on my back. He kneels before me, his arms on either side of my head as he braces himself over me. Above him, the stars are twinkling bright, and the nearly full moon is casting a soft white glow down in the room. It's almost dooming that the sky happens to be completely clear of clouds tonight. Overcast skies constantly plague Seattle. I swallow, tears pricking my eyes. Such a gentleman, letting me look at the stars as you murder me. I mouth off, forcing the words through my tightened throat. I really need to shut the fuck up, but I can't seem to stop myself. Apparently, when I'm in a life-threatening situation, all I can manage to do is make it worse. Some might call it fearlessness, but I just call it stupidity. He supports himself on one hand as the other reaches behind him. I open my mouth, gearing up for more insult, when his arm reappears, a gun in his hand. Another audible click of my teeth later, and I'm back to being choked silent with fear.
You let a man touch you in here, make you come,
He states, his tone bled dry of emotion.
Normally I'd replace his fingers with my own, but I think you need something else to teach you a lesson.
Okay, I'm sorry. I rush out, my eyes widening as he points the gun to my chest. I'm really.
Shh.
He hushes.
You're not sorry yet, little mouse, but you will be.
April 14th, 1945. John and I are accompanying Frank for a dinner he has with the police department. We usually have a good time on these outings. Frank is picking us up soon, and John and I are waiting around in stilted silence. Sarah is off with her girlfriends for the night, and right now I wish she were here. Lately she's been a good buffer between the two of us. I don't know if she's noticed the difference. John and I aren't fighting, we're just coexisting. I broke his heart. I know I did. But why does it feel like mine is healing? Frank is here now. Thank God. Chapter 16. The Manipulator. Millions of thoughts run through my head on what I could possibly say to get out of this. I'm sorry, clearly wasn't good enough. You're going to shoot me? My bladder is threatening to explode, and the knowledge that I might die in a puddle of pee brings tears to my eyes.
I've already said I'm not going to kill you,
He responds, his tone dripping with impatience. He punctuates his response by dragging the tip of the gun down through the valley of my breasts. The gun continues its path down my stomach, stopping at the edge of my leggings.
Take these off.
My lip trembles, and a single tear slides down my temple. Please, don't do this. He cocks a brow, and the act is damning. He looks so damn unimpressed with my pleas, causing another tear to trace the path of the first.
Now, Adeline.
Sniffling, I finally listen. Hooking my thumbs in the band of my leggings, I pull them down. I'm only able to reach mid-thigh before his body gets in the way. He takes the hint, lifting up and ripping the leggings down the rest of the way. More tears follow suit.
T-shirt next,
He orders, jerking his gun to signal his order. I lift up and slide the shirt over my head, laying back down with a huff.
Fucking beautiful,
He murmurs, his eyes tracing over the curves of my body. Fucker is lucky I'm wearing my black lace set tonight. He doesn't fucking deserve it either. He leans over me again, his mouth kissing the last bruise he left on my shoulder.
Do you know what these mean?
He whispers, kissing another spot. I shudder beneath his touch, electricity sprouting from the point of contact and dancing across my skin. I don't answer, but he doesn't seem to mind.
They mean that I own you, marked you as mine.
The tip of his tongue darts out, trailing my flesh as he moves down towards my breasts. Don't. His teeth pierce the swell of my left breast before I can finish my pointless demand. I gasp, squeezing my eyes shut as he leaves another mark on my skin. Once he's satisfied, he renews his path with his mouth, leaving hickeys on both of my tits and several across my stomach. And all I can do is just take it, because that gun in his hand is keeping me pliant, just like he planned. When my body is well and abused from his teeth and tongue, he lifts up and forces my thighs open. I strain against him, but it only hurts me in the end. He's too strong. His pointer finger curls in the edge of my thong, tracing the lining from the juncture of my thigh down towards my center. Before he reaches my clit, he pulls the material out and runs his finger up and down the fabric, his finger a mere inch from my pussy. I want to cover my face because I know he's feeling my body's betrayal.
These are soaked,
he rasps out, his lips still wet from his saliva. That's called discharge, I snap, hoping my lie turns him off. He smiles in response.
As much as I hate to say this to you, I'm no stranger to a woman's pussy and what it feels like when it weeps for me.
I curl my lip in disgust. Last time I checked, most girls weep because they're upset. Take a hint. He chuckles.
Little mouse, that's exactly what I'm doing.
He then pulls my thong to the side, baring my pussy to him, and the arousal glistening from within. He mutters a curse under his breath as his eyes devour every inch of me. Another tremble of my lips has me biting down on the traitorous flesh. Keeping one finger hooked in my underwear, he points the gun in my face with the other. I recoil, pinching my eyes shut and letting loose a startled yelp.
Relax. I just want you to suck on it.
It takes several seconds for his words to process that he didn't pull the trigger and I'm not dead. When they do, my eyes snap open and I glare at him. Why the fuck? He taps the tip of the gun on my mouth, effectively cutting me off. The rest of my words dissipate as he slides the gun across my lips as if he's painting them with lipstick.
Suck,
he orders, his tone deepening with finality. Closing my eyes against more tears, I open my mouth and let him guide the gun between my teeth. I squeeze my lids tighter as I twirl my tongue over the cold metal, cringing from the nasty taste.
Such a good girl,
he says, pulling the dripping gun out, a trail of saliva following until it snaps. My entire body locks when I feel the cool metal slide against my clit. I flinch against the foreign touch of an incredibly dangerous weapon. Pure terror washes over me, and it takes all of my strength to keep from full-on sobbing. Holding a gun to my head is far less intimidating than it being held between my legs. A gunshot to the head is instant death. But this would be slow and painful, torturous. He leans down, close enough for his hot breath to fan across my core. I lift up for a better view, just as he looks up at me through long, thick lashes, his mismatched eyes sparkling with delight. Right when I open my mouth to ask what he's doing, he sticks out his tongue, saliva pooling to the tip and dripping off onto my pussy.
Can never be too wet, can you, little mouse?
Sitting up, he circles my entrance with the tip of the gun, the metal slipping against my skin. Oh my God, please don't. This time my words are cut off from the feel of him dipping the gun past my folds. Just the tip, but enough to close my throat, only allowing a startled squeak to escape. He laughs cruelly.
You even sound like a mouse.
I'd snap at him if I wasn't frozen solid. I can't look away. I just watch him push the gun inside me, my rounded eyes barely processing what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. Slowly, he works the gun inside me, drawing out both pleasure and pain. I clench my jaw, shuddering from his ministrations, but refusing to make a sound. I won't give him that satisfaction. He works the weapon halfway in before the gun retreats to the very tip. I'm allowed a moment's breath before he buries the entire barrel inside me. I suck in a sharp gasp and let my head fall back, no longer having the strength to watch. This is so fucked up, beyond fucked up. But when the gun pulls out and sinks back in again, a noise does slip through as a wave of pleasure rocks through me.
Good girl.
He breathes.
Open wider, baby.
The hand still holding my thong to the side nudges against my thigh. Without thought, my thighs instinctively fall further apart. Another praise, but I barely hear it over the beating of my heart.
I can feel how tight your pussy is, the way it grips onto my gun when I slide it out. So fucking pretty.
I bite my lip, but it isn't enough to hold in the next moan. or the one after that. I can hear the suctioning and slurping noises as he fucks me with his gun, and shame fills me in response. The embarrassment nearly overrides the fear, but neither of them is more potent than the pleasure my body is being forced to succumb to. When he angles the gun in a particular way, he hits a spot inside me that sends my eyes to the back of my head and an unchecked moan to slip free. He growls in response, my back arching as he continues to hit that spot. My thong grows impossibly tight, biting into my flesh before it's ripped away from my body, the sound getting lost in another cry. The tattered fabric is tossed aside, freeing his hand to grip my thigh in a bruising hold. My heart jumps when he leans down, but he only clamps his teeth on my inner thigh. I cry out from the sharp bite, but it quickly morphs into pleasure when he hits that spot again. His mouth sucks and his movements quicken until I feel the beginnings of an orgasm settle low in the pit of my stomach. Please, I beg, but I don't know what for. He tears his mouth away just to clamp down again, lower this time, but still far away from my center. Too far away.
Tell me what you learned, Adeline.
He demands, looking up at me, his mouth wet from his biting. The sight makes my heart drop deep into my belly, right to where the gun is driving into me. Not to bite your cheek, I guess, my voice trembling. He answers by biting my thigh in a punishing grip. I cry out, the pain blinding. He loosens his jaw, allowing the pain to bleed into pleasure. A primal noise slips out as he pushes the gun deep.
Are you going to make me ask again?
I open my mouth, but no answer comes out. My silence allows for me to hear his warning loud and clear. He cocks the gun. Okay, fuck. I relent on a terrified hush. I learned not to let another man touch me. Those words bring tears to my eyes, because saying them out loud makes me feel well and truly trapped by this man.
Who's the only one allowed to touch you, Adeline?
I close my eyes, hating the lie that's about to slip from my mouth, just like the tears are from my eyes. You, I whisper, the bitter taste of the words clogging my throat. A battlefield rages in my body, the side that wants him to make me come, and the other side that wants him to turn the gun on himself and fire it. I glance down at him and note the way he's staring up at me, and I have the terrifying realization that he doesn't believe my lies.
You have 10 more seconds to come, little mouse. No more after that.
He warns before nipping at my thigh again.
Rub your clit, baby.
I hesitate. The last thing I want to do is allow this man the satisfaction of making me come, and even worse, helping him do it. He doesn't fucking deserve it. And though my body is strung tight with desperation for it, my brain revolts against the thought.
Now.
He growls, his eyes blazing with something carnal and dangerous. Muttering a curse, I reach down and twirl my fingers over my clit, too scared of the repercussions. If it's between orgasming and getting shot, I'm going to have to choose the option that will cause the least amount of damage.
Good girl,
he whispers. It takes 2 more thrusts of the gun before I'm tipping over the edge, my ass shooting clear off the ground as the orgasm rips through me. I'm screaming. I can feel the sound vibrating the muscles in my throat. And I can feel how hoarse it's becoming, but I can't hear it. Not when my entire being is consumed in fire and ice, and the only thing I can see is heaven. The gun works inside of me faster and deeper, drawing out the orgasm until I'm literally begging for it to stop. He rips the gun out of me, and my thighs snap shut instantly as the last of the orgasm dies. I'm left a shuddering mess from the aftershocks while he stands, his body towering over me. I look up through half-lidded eyes, still jerking from the little shocks, when he lifts the gun and swallows the barrel. It feels like an out-of-body experience as I watch him lick the weapon clean, and then stick it in the back of his jeans. My body is full of rage, humiliation, and shame. I know this, but it's like my brain can't process those emotions, so it's just choosing to feel nothing at all. Is this what trauma does? Knowing you've been violated, but your body chooses to go numb instead? Like a magic trick, his hand comes back into view with a rose that must have been in his back pocket. The petals are crushed, likely from our struggle, but he doesn't seem to care. He twirls the rose in his hand before tossing it on me, the flower fluttering to my stomach. With one last, lingering look, he turns and walks out without a word. And finally, the dam bursts as emotions crash through my body and flood out of my eyes. For the next 3 nights, my shadow stood outside my window, watching me, a red cherry blaring in the night as he puffed on a cigarette. What I wanted to tell him is how fucking disgusting it is that he smokes. But the heat between my thighs likes the way he looks. I think my asshole of a vagina might have even been jealous of the cigarette. Apparently, it has a thing for inanimate objects. And that reminder royally pissed me off. Enough to storm into the kitchen and pour myself an entire cup of wine. Wine cures everything for a little while. Anger, trauma. But now, with a glass of wine absent, rage causes my hands to tremble with the reminder of how he left me on the floor, tossing a rose on me like discarded trash and then leaving. I had never felt more debased as a human until that moment, never more humiliated. He hasn't messaged me since, hasn't tried to come to me and wave another gun in my face. He just lingered outside the window. And I stared back. It's become our fucked up routine. He doesn't come around during the day, and as long as I'm not letting men feel me up and stick their hand down my pants, he doesn't text me any more threatening messages. I don't tell Daya about our confrontation, and especially not about how that night ended. If my shadow doesn't murder me first, Daya will. I was incredibly stupid, a fact I've never tried to deny, especially now. There's just no explaining the reactions he pulls from me. I'd love to pretend like confronting a scary man is so like me, but it's the exact opposite. I work myself into a panic attack if I have to ask a complete stranger a question. So why is it every time he comes around, I slip into insanity? "Why are you wearing a turtleneck?" Daya asks with disdain, shoving a bite of her salad into her mouth. We met at Fiona's to grab a bite to eat. I needed to get out of the house, desperately. The smallest things would bring me back to that night. And every time I looked in the mirror, I was overcome with the memory of his teeth sinking into me and the bite of metal soon after. I clear my throat. "I'm trying something new," I mutter. It was the only thing that would cover the marks staining my body. I had to order several of them in different colors through Amazon Prime, the need for them dire. I can never let Daya see those marks, nor could I ever confess the new meaning my stalker gave to finger banging. She shrugs her shoulders, looking down at her salad. "Only you can make a turtleneck, mom jeans, and a belt look fashionable." I frowned down at my outfit, disagreeing with her assessment. I hate this outfit, but maybe I only hate what it represents. Something designed solely to cover the bruises covering my body. Beneath these clothes is a map of purple hickeys. "What about Loverboy? Anything else happen with him?" I hope the flesh crawling up my neck stays down. If it doesn't, maybe I can blame it on the goddamn turtleneck. "I'd much rather talk about Gigi," I say, eyeing the mozzarella sticks sitting between Daya and me. "I've had 4 already, and I want the last one." Noting my stare, Daya rolls her eyes and flaps her hand, urging me to take it. I do so with a big smile on my face. "I have some news on Ronaldo." Both brows shoot up, urging me to continue. "Last night, I was picking through the diaries to see what I could find on him. Gigi would often mention him wearing nice suits and that gold ring, indicating that he was middle to upper class. And there was one entry where he seemed to have gotten jumped. Came in bruised and bloodied, but wouldn't speak about it. So, I'm thinking he was involved in crime of some sort. He was very secretive about his life and told her at one point that he wouldn't allow his dangerous lifestyle to affect her." "You think he was like a mob boss?" I shake my head no. "No, I think his boss was a mob boss. When Gigi spoke of him when he was beat up, she made it sound like he was punished for something. She quoted him saying, 'It was nothing I didn't deserve. And that's all he would say. Gigi had noted several times in entries that she kept asking anyways, concerned for his well-being. The last thing he told her was that he had a very strict boss and he couldn't know about her. Daya nods her head, a spark of excitement in her sage eyes. I'll look into crime families in the 40s, see if I can find anyone that might match his description. I smile, feeling the same spark of hope. The high lasts for a total of 5 seconds before Daya's eyes widen, her gaze locked behind me. My heart drops and the hairs on the back of my neck rise. My shadow wouldn't show up here now, would he? In front of Daya?
Hello, ladies.
My eyes widen along with Daya's. Her gaze clashes with mine and a million things are said in the span of 2 seconds. Like that we need to be very fucking careful. He sits down next to me, his body relaxing back into the chair as he stares at me with a wide smile that stops miles from his eyes. I clear my throat and force a smile. Hello, Max. Arch's friend, right?
The one and only.
He responds, his stony blue gaze glued to my face. I can feel a blush creeping up my neck from the intensity of his glare. What can I do for you? I ask, casually sipping on my quickly depleting margarita. I'm going to have to flag down the waitress soon because I'm going to need another to get me through the conversation, and one more to get me through the aftermath. I'm going to need to call an Uber tonight. I already feel it. He leans forward on the table, crossing his fingers and looking at me like he's really curious about something. His entire demeanor is hostile.
I'd like for you to tell me exactly what happened when Arch went missing.
His lips curl into a cruel smile as he tacks on.
From your doorstep.
I frown. Didn't you already hear about it from the police reports? He narrows his eyes, that smile frozen on his ice-cold face.
I want to hear it from you, Ms. Riley.
I do my best to keep my face blank, but I'm not sure how well I'm doing. Can't say I'm practiced in the art of handling a criminal. Matter of fact, 3 nights ago pretty much proved that I suck at handling criminals. He said my last name to show me he looked into me, but that would be the one thing I'm used to by now, being stalked. We went back to my place and had some fun. I start. A glimmer shines in Max's eye when I say that. We were actually in the middle of having fun when someone banged really hard on my front door.
Has that happened before?
My nerves flare because this is a question I don't know how to answer. No, I say finally, refraining from gulping like I really want to. I also really want to pick up my margarita again, but my hands are shaking and I don't think I'll be able to hide that. So I act like an imbecile and lean over to suck down more of the margarita with it on the table. He hums. Max has to know I have a stalker now. It was something Sheriff Walters told me that would bite me in the ass with them, but I couldn't not report someone stalking me. Max must have seen those reports, but one thing is for sure, I didn't report his hands appearing on my doorstep.
You see, Addie, I just can't quite figure out the motive, you know? Like, say, why would an enemy of Arch show up at your doorstep in the middle of Arch getting his dick wet?
I flinch from his crass words, feeling almost ashamed that I let Arch touch me at all. Max, Daya snaps. His cold eyes turn to her, but she doesn't cower. I've told y'all 1,000,000 fucking times. Addie had nothing to do with it. His gaze thins again, and he leans further into the table, pinning Daya with a steely glare.
That's the problem, Daya. I don't fucking believe you.
She snarls, her hands clenching into fists. If you want answers, Max, you're looking in the wrong place. I cut in before this conversation blows up and Max murders us right here and now.
I don't think I am.
He responds, facing me again.
Because Arch's hands ended up on your doorstep the next morning, and if I didn't know any better, I'd say that's personal. So why would Arch's hands be personal to you?
He smiles in victory when my eyes round with surprise. How did you know that?
Something didn't sit right with Arch going missing at your house of all places, the morning after we sent a man to scope out your property. Just in time to see Dea here picking up a bloody box and driving off with it. They tailed her, and after she buried it, they simply unburied it. Imagine our surprise when I saw my best friend's hands in that box. And imagine my surprise when my men told me it was gifted to you.
I don't look to Daya. I don't want Max to see just how alarmed I truly am. My eyes thin. Maybe it was put on my doorstep because whoever it was assumed I was connected to Arch's dealings. He laughs then.
You think our rival assumed you were Arch's bitch and that you were involved with our work?
Maybe, I snap. Would they know if I wasn't? He doesn't answer. He just stares, sussing me out, and I stare back, letting him see the anger in my face, the frustration.
Why did you have Dea bury them, Addie? Why not tell the police?
I weigh my options and decide that telling the partial truth is my best bet. Because there was a note in it, threatening my life, along with any police officers involved if I called them. I was made aware of Arch's work by then and thought it best to listen and not get further involved, in something I have nothing to do with, by the way. Again, he just stares. My heart is beating out of my chest, and by the look in Max's eyes, I'm still not sure he believes me innocent. Part of me just wants to confess to him that I'm being stalked. What difference would it make at this point, anyway? Now that Max discovered Arch's hands, there's no reason to keep it a secret. But there is. If Max discovers I have a stalker, one who is clearly violent and dangerous, he might use me as leverage to draw him out to get his revenge. I'd become collateral, and I'm not sure I'd make it out alive. At least this way, there's a chance that Max will leave me alone if he thinks I'm just some random girl who got caught in the crosshairs of gang activity. Max hums again and stands, straightening his suit jacket and rebuttoning it. The suit drips class and money, and something tells me Max has taken over the Talavera's dealings. There's a new crime lord in town, and he's pissed. At me, no less.
Enjoy the rest of your dinner, ladies.
He walks away, taking all of his bad juju with him. The air instantly feels lighter now that he's gone, but he managed to still leave an ashy taste in my mouth. They're going to be a problem, Daya says quietly. I nod and flag down the waitress. Add it to the fucking list. April 15th, 1945. This evening was awful. John drank too much, and when he does, he gets mean. Frank had to carry him in the house and put him to bed. I was too angry to even help undress him. Finally, the dam broke, and he accused me of cheating. Frank was there and looked at me as if I killed his dog. This happened in front of Frank's work associates. It was mortifying, but nothing I didn't deserve. I denied his claims, of course, more worried about calming him down. After Frank got John to bed, he asked me if it was true. I said no, but I don't think he believed me. He stormed out of the house after that, and I'm not sure what I said to upset him so badly.